Welcome into the Brewhouse Cafe. Soccer over there. We are live at America's best soccer bar, getting ready for a World Cup draw on Friday that is going to set the course for what next summer looks like. There's going to be a group of death. There's going to be a really easy group. There's going to be shenanigans. I know there's already some World Cup draw simulators that have gotten things incorrect. So hopefully FIFA doesn't have that happen. We did learn today that we'll have the schedule the next day at noon. So all kinds of stuff. It's a really busy week, along with just the usual soccer stuff to get into. We got picks of the week as well. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Monday night. That's John Nelson. I'm Jason Longshore. We could start anywhere, John. I mean, there were a bunch of games over the weekend. We have an MLS Cup final. We have playoffs in Argentina. We have playoffs in Mexico. We had a grand finale in Venezuela. We have a champion in Norway for the first time since 1991. We have the usual shenanigans in the Premier League and Serie A and La Liga, and not in the Bundesliga because they don't have shenanigans. It's just the same team that wins all the time. We have shenanigans in Ligue 1. We have a different team up at the top right now. All kinds of stuff to get into. So where do you want to start?
Copa Libertadores.
Okay, we can start with Copa Libertadores.
Because
what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think that obviously it's a tip of the hat to our friend Luis Araujo.
Luis Araujo.
Araujo.
Okay. Let me go through this again, John. So at one time in Major League Soccer, there were three players with the same last name, spelling-wise, and they were all pronounced differently.
Yes.
We had Luis Araujo, who was Brazilian. The Galaxy had a player of Mexican heritage, Araujo.
Yes.
And Orlando had a Uruguayan midfielder, Araujo.
And that's a lot of stuff.
Yes, but they're different from different places.
They
so
are
pronounced differently.
and exactly right. No, that is absolutely right. But you had when we had our friend Nino Torres on the show on Thursday, and he was actually it's Friday when he was breaking stuff down about how it was going to be in Lima, Peru, and how crazy it was going to be, and
Game
how
got delayed because of traffic.
Yes, and he had even referenced that on Friday that it was going to be just absolutely crazy. Asking him if he was going to go to the match, he's like, no, and he specifically mentioned because of the traffic. And he is literally he lives 4 miles from the stadium in Lima, Peru, and he's like, nope, not going. Traffic is already crazy. I have no interest in going. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to watch it at home, because he was also calling matches on Goal TV. He was calling Benfica, I believe, on from Portugal.
I caught Nino on the Uruguayan final second leg yesterday with Nacional winning in extra time.
And so he was just like, yeah, last time we had a final this size, he went with his mom, and his mom basically just kind of stormed to the front, and she'd get on team buses and saying hi to everybody, as moms do.
He wasn't hanging out with the Flamengo fans who tried to burn a Palmeiras jersey, was he?
No.
It didn't work out too well. If you haven't seen that video, dude set himself on fire, basically. He got put out. He just looked a little stunned afterwards, and his buddy's like, are you a moron? Like, why are you doing that? Flamengo wins the title. It wasn't a great game. Flamengo tried to play. Palmeiras doesn't believe in that, so they end up losing because of it. Flamengo wins the fourth Copa Libertadores, first Brazilian club to do that. The title stays in Brazil, which we knew that it would. And, I mean, I'm not really surprised by Flamengo coming out of it. I will be intrigued to see if Felipe Luis starts to become a name on the managerial side that people talk about with a move to Europe and getting that opportunity. I think he's shown enough. Flamengo looked good in the Club World Cup this summer as well. But Flamengo winning didn't really surprise me. I think the bigger question coming out of CONMEBOL and where things stand is, can anybody compete with the Brazilian clubs? Because they haven't been since the Super Clásico Libertadores final that had to be moved to Europe for the second leg. And that doesn't feel like all that long ago, but it was. Like, that was 2018.
Wow.
That's the last time someone other than a Brazilian club has won this thing. It's kind of turning into the Bundesliga in that sense of, like, you at least know what country the winner is going to come from. And, you look at the mega clubs out of Argentina right now, and that's the next country that should be able to compete. And I mean, Boca's grinding out results and advancing to the semifinals in Argentina, and good on them for doing it. But they don't look like they're on the same level as Flamengo and Palmeiras. And River's talking about having to overhaul their squad and spend a ton of money. They're nowhere near that level right now. They need Boca to win the Argentine title for them to get into the Libertadores for next year, which is a really tough spot for a River fan to be in. There's nobody else who's at that level. I think Racing is really good, and they're going to be a fun team to watch as they continue to push and try to get to that next level, but they're not the same level financially. There's nobody else financially. It should be Boca and River, and they're not doing it. Liga de Quito made a run this past time, and they got to the semis and then blew a huge lead going into the second leg. So I don't know. It feels like it's Brazil's until something changes. And I don't know what that is outside of a money tree emerging in Buenos Aires or Bogota or Medellin or Quito or somewhere else, because all the money's in Brazil right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you mentioned Racing.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been fun since, and this is the Fanatis plug into the whole thing, fntz.co/soccer down here, where you can add to your true degenerative nature of all the leagues that you might be watching already, and then you get to add things like TSA. You get to add the Argentine League. You get to add Sporting Cristal. I mean, I'm literally watching Sporting Cristal to keep an eye on Luis Abram now. I'm watching Racing to keep an eye on Santi Sosa. And
Racing is scoreless in the 39th minute right now in their playoff match hosting Tigre.
Is Santi starting?
Probably.
Is he wearing the Batman mask?
Santi is starting. I would assume he's wearing the Batman mask, and he's already got a yellow card.
I mean, he's listed. He plays a lot taller than he is. He plays a lot more physical than he looks.
He's a pretty big boy. He is not slight. He's definitely, and I think he's probably gotten a little thicker from when he was here. Like, but he always had a pretty big frame. Like, he's not super tall, but
he's 6 foot.
He was never like tiny.
Yeah. Well, and that was what. Yeah, I look at someone who's 6 foot, and I'm sitting there, and it's like, I looked at him there, and maybe it was just because of the jerseys and things, but he had that bit of sandpaper about him when he was here, and I don't think it was properly appreciated when he was here. And now you're seeing it personified multiple times over now that he's at Racing. And what was the stat that you came up with when it came to? Oh, it was just this.
He won 11 of 13
yes,
aerial duels with a fractured face.
And that's insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, Santi's grown up a little bit. Like, he's probably not doing what he's doing right now if he doesn't have the experience here, where it wasn't all roses for him and it was difficult. He made the move to leave his boyhood club, River, and come to a completely different country. And he put in work. I think he ended up understanding English really well. He didn't ever feel like confident enough to speak it in a situation, but we did the interview with him at Elsewhere Brewing over in Grant Park, and he didn't need Justin to translate any of my questions. He knew what I was asking. Smart kid, just a good player. And he had really good moments here. I mean, his first 6 months when he played for Gabriel Heinze, he was one of the best central midfielders in the league. And I think he struggled with coming here and then a coaching change. And I think he eventually got one back over. And then he had some injury issues. He had that hernia. And he just never had the consistency, which happens, especially with young players when they go to another country. And he had the opportunity to go back to Argentina. He went to Racing and did well. And he wanted to get back to River, and they told him no. And he is right now an icon at Racing, but they're coming up to a tough decision because, again, talking financials, they don't have the kind of money to spend on him. I don't think he's going to go to Boca. If River didn't want him, I don't know if he's going to want to go back there. And he's talked about wanting to go to Europe. Yeah. But what does that look like for him? What does a move like that look like? What kind of level of club? He's in that in between, which is really tricky. I mean, it's almost like I wish he hadn't come here the first time around, and then he comes here now. This is one where you wonder if somebody, it's a position in terms of being in the midfield that I don't think is a priority for this club right now, Atlanta United. But he's also played in the back quite a bit in a 3 with Rossing. I don't know if Tata Martino is thinking about playing a 3 or playing a line of 4. He's typically played a line of 4, but he's played 3 center backs before. I don't know if he would want to revisit that and look at that possibility with somebody like Tata here, and maybe that changes the conversation. But I don't know. It's a fascinating one. And I think you're seeing Major League Soccer when we get back to the big picture with a Brazil, with an Argentina right now, and who's spending what, who can compete with what. I've said it for a while. I think MLS's goal should be to be better than the Brazilian clubs.
Yeah.
And right now they're not. Right now, I think MLS is on par with the top Argentine clubs, if not some clubs past them. If you compare MLS to Argentina, they're both 30 teams right now. I think MLS is better across the 30.
Yeah.
At the top end, I would lean to MLS right now, honestly. And I don't know if I would have said that a couple years ago. Brazil, there's a gap, and it's the same gap that the Argentine clubs are dealing with. It's a gap, but be the best club in this hemisphere, that's where you need to be, is on par with the Brazilian clubs. And we'll see if MLS and we'll see if the South American clubs can get there. We're going to have to catch up on what's happening in Scotland and various other places with Jarrett Smith, who's joining us now. What's up, Jarrett? Is it snowing there in Utah?
Was yesterday.
Is it now?
Nope. It's supposed to tomorrow.
Well, all righty then.
And so he'll be driving to work and checking in.
No, I'll work from home. Screw that.
Oh, there you go.
The plebes can take care of that.
Good grief.
So.
Good grief.
Plebes.
So does Celtic have a coach yet? What's up with your club?
My club. Cool.
Your club. You are the spokesperson for Celtic on these parts.
You are the director of information.
And this should be done, and it's not. So what's happening?
This should be done this week. Last I heard.
Isn't that what they said last week?
Yeah, I thought so.
Look, Scotland ain't fast.
I mean,
a lot of things.
We're not dealing with SEC coaching moves here.
No, but the estimation is that it will be done this week. Now, whether or not Wilfred Nancy is coaching Celtic by the weekend, God only knows. I will use this opportunity though to say, give Martin O'Neill his flowers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely,
100%.
Because Brendan Rodgers left you. Look, there's circumstance like Rodgers was upset with the club, with the front office, with the budget he was given, and he made that note. But he still started the year, and look, I think at times it is a toxic thing to do that. We do to kids, for instance, with like, well, you started, you're going to finish it. Yeah. But when you're being paid as a manager of a major club, when you start the year, unless something happens, and there are plenty of extenuating circumstances upon which you don't necessarily have to finish the year.
He didn't get pushed out. He wanted to go.
Yes.
And he didn't go somewhere else. He just wanted to go.
Yeah.
And to do that after the window is closed is, to me, extremely shitty.
Yeah, I would agree.
But Martin O'Neill, who managed Celtic in the early 2000s, I stole my daughter's pretzel. She has like the pretzel rods. I stole a couple of them on the way down.
Fair enough.
And a pina colada sour ale.
Yeah, you like those weird ones.
I love sour ale.
That's
not a sour fan
that's
at all.
brave. Let's put it that way.
But Martin O'Neill, who managed Celtic in the early 2000s, came back in on an interim basis, made it very clear from the jump that it was going to be interim, stabilized them. They go and get a win last week. I didn't take them for picks of the week, but they go to Feyenoord and get a win on the road, a 3-1 win in Europa League action.
Who are you and what have you done with Celtic in international competition?
It's a bit more pragmatic of a style, less demanding of possession than what Brendan Rodgers was. I would say, Jason, kind of like the shift from Pineda to Rob Valentino.
Yeah.
Like you're shifting from a guy who wanted the ball and wanted the ball to move in the offensive half. It wasn't executing the way the manager, his game model represents. The interim comes in, and you made changes based on what you needed to do.
Yeah, I think in this case too, like Martin's not auditioning for the job. He's not in like a postseason situation. So you're not gonna make like a dramatic change because you're not gonna be there to see it out.
Right.
But you're also gonna keep it simple because, you know, he's not Brendan Rodgers. So he's not gonna say like don't do those things. He's just gonna simplify it. And if that means leaning into a little less possession, a little simpler play, that's the smart thing to do because he's not putting a stamp on anything.
Yeah, and he came in, he said he was interim, he got him stabilized, they've been winning.
Yeah, did the job.
And he has said all the right things about the guy coming in for the full-time job. When you talk about a steward of the club, that's what he is.
Yeah.
And that, I think that is something that every club aspires to have, is somebody who, hey, times are tricky, and we just need you to be the guy. Alex, you shut your mouth.
I'm with you, Alex. But
I am not in a position to comment.
That's fine. But it sounds like he is fully on board with what's going to happen. I think they're putting a couple of guys onto his staff who are Celtic familiar, which I'm fine with. He's bringing most of his staff. I don't think it's a bad thing to have one or two guys who have been in Scotland before, just because it's a new league, it's a new country for him. Jason, you can attest to this because of your raw hatred of it, but
which part? Specify.
Scotland is weird. The Scottish League is weird. Not even just the split.
Yeah, idiotic.
The entire dynamic and breakdown of the league is a very weird thing. Having one or two guys on there who can kind of tell you we got this coming up. Okay, here's what this is. It's not a bad thing to have.
They can speak Scotland. They can speak league. Yes.
Yeah, it's nice to have those guys. You're not looking to them to change your whole game model, but it sounds like Wilfred Nancy is right on the horizon.
Wilfred Nancy doesn't have a dog that we're wondering who actually owns it.
Yeah,
the
really?
dog doesn't have a Twitter account. We're not dealing with any of those.
Man,
are we?
Oh.
No, and that feeds into this whole thing of like, because someone said the other day that like, and I hate this because when Europeans do this, we turn our nose up to it. So I turn my nose up to it when Americans do this. Like when they do like the American mind can't comprehend this part of European football.
I hate any uppity nonsense either way.
But as someone mentioned, like I don't know if the European mind can comprehend it's the unique unhingedness about SEC football, because Europe is unhinged. The SEC just has its own. It's this bastardization of Tony Chachere's in a can that is on fire on the stove at all times. Like the air traffic controller giving clearance to land and making comments is just it's something uniquely stupid SEC that I'm not going to tell the European mind they can't comprehend it. I'm not going to tell any mind anywhere they can't comprehend it. I'm just going to say the SEC is weird. Act accordingly, because and Alex, I agree. You dodged the bullet with Lane because Alex.
Yeah, but you would have taken him within a heartbeat if you could have. That's the thing that's so funny about it, because that's the other side that that's what's so funny about all of this. And this is where there are similarities between the two worlds of coaches being in demand and maybe being somewhat problematic. I can't think of a coach in the soccer world that is as problematic in ways as old Lane. Because there's a lot of problems there.
Piojo?
But, no, not even close. I mean, I couldn't see Lane punching a journalist in the face, but that would actually that might endear him to some parts of the SEC.
He just squared up with an Ole Miss blogger after the game.
Oh, that's true. He
did, kind of.
But you're squaring up on a blogger.
Well, no, it's not that. He didn't really square up. He and I don't have a problem with what he did.
Did he bow up on him or something?
No, we just went up to him and said, like, hey, I heard what you said. And I'm paraphrasing.
And not housewife.
and come say that in there, like talking about the locker room, and the blogger didn't. Like, if you're gonna say stuff, you need to understand you might get checked,
and
that's fine.
Compunction to back it up.
But it was this is the problem I have with that statement, though. Like, it wasn't, he didn't punch the guy.
No.
He didn't shove the guy. He didn't cuss the guy out. He was angry, and it showed, and that's all it was. That's fine. That's the least of all of these issues. That's what's so funny about it. Like, that I forgot about until you brought it up. All the other stuff is what's so crazy.
Yeah, my main issue here is if
Conte's not quite in that category, Dan, but he's in the. I mean, there's a couple guys in the ballpark.
He's in the building.
Like, yeah, there's a few in the building.
He's not on the field, but he's
and we're not. I don't want to get into the other side of the problematic stuff with Lane Kiffin that is not corroborated, because there's a whole lot of that.
Yes,
which is what takes it into a whole different category.
That's out there.
But just the stuff of he decided to leave when he did. The money's not the issue, because he's getting paid about the same, and he would have got paid the same. It's a stature thing. He's leaving when he did, and then when he didn't get what he wanted, he was. It sounds like, although this isn't fully corroborated, it sounds like he was willing to blow up every bridge to get out of there and to hurt the team. But then his actions afterwards don't make sense, and none of it makes sense. It's all chaotic. But he could have went to Florida. He could have went to Auburn at one point. And they would have gladly taken him.
He was set to go to Auburn.
Get it done. Yeah, well, that might have been for the best. Florida couldn't get over the line with everything, and it's all a mess. But I can't think of a guy like this in the soccer world. There's probably one in South America. I'm sure there's been one in Liga MX. But nobody matches this. That's what's so amazing about it.
I mean, Marcelo Bielsa set outside with the grenade.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
He's not as combative in that way.
He's not as, like, passive aggressive in it. Like, that's the difference for me with Kiffin, is like Bielsa would walk out with a grenade, and I believe he might actually pull the pin.
Correct.
Becca Sese, I would believe that he would fight you. Piojo, yeah, he punched somebody. I wasn't shocked. Like,
honestly,
if you told me Lane Kiffin punched that blogger in the face, I would have been shocked.
Yes.
Because he's not that. It's a lot of talk and smoke and mirrors and weirdness and chaos and fake dogs with Twitter accounts and all kinds. It's a real dog, but it's not his dog. But it might be his dog. But his dog it didn't live with him. What is happening?
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of victim going on with Lane in all of his
to a point. But then he blows things up.
Who it is? I can give you who it is.
Who is it?
Ange. It's Ange.
You might be right.
We
might have solved it.
Ange will cut a promo until the day is done.
Yeah, but it's a promo.
He will cut a promo. He will trash talk a blogger. He will belittle you for your question. He's not going to square up on you, but he played for the Mad Hungarian. It's where he learned a lot.
He hasn't squared up on anybody yet, is maybe the best way to put it.
But he'll trash talk, and he'll cut a promo, and he'll cut a clip, and he'll belittle you, and he'll come tell you to your face that he thinks you're so full of. That's why your eyes are brown.
Yes.
But to your point, he hasn't done anything about it.
He'll play the game, which is Lane does that really well. He
also offensively minded coach.
Yeah, there you go. Ange and Lane Kiffin, we figured it out.
Lane Kiffin is just American Ange.
Wow, we need those two.
American Ange.
I need an interview with those two together. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Actually, probably would be a really good conversation.
Yeah.
To answer your question, according to the Glasgow Times, so Martin O'Neill said it looks like he thought he was going to be his farewell last week. He's coaching against Dundee this week. Seems the hindrance is due to a visa issue. Nazi must secure an international sports person visa, and it sounds like they're just having trouble getting that over the line, which, again, if you've ever listened to this show or any of the adjacent shows on this network, that you know that visas can be an absolute bitch to deal with. And I think it's a similar issue. They're just waiting for his visa to get sorted.
International sports person visa.
Well, that's probably a UK thing, which is now
a UK thing.
It's outside of it's Brexited, so you have that issue with Nazi being a Frenchman, and
Yep.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like that's probably a little more complicated than I would have guessed.
Alex, I can't believe Piojo was able to raise his arms over his waist either. There are times he wears that jacket, and that thing is like fighting for its life, and it reminds me of the big man, little coat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it actually is it is a thing.
What you thought Jarrett was lying to you?
No. Just it actually is phrased as International Sports Person Visa UK.
To obtain this, you require a government body endorsement from the Scottish FA and a certificate of sponsorship from Celtic. You must demonstrate a significant achievements and potential impact on UK football, meet the English language requirement, and show that he has sufficient funds to support himself without government aid.
I think he's got all that.
I think he does too. So it sounds like that's what the holdup was. It sounds like he's still going to be there. Now the question is, and I understand this is soccer over there, and this is a question that John and I can broach in the morning.
We can soccer over there can be everywhere.
What the hell does Columbus do now?
That's a question for Chris Dorn.
You know what they should do, and they won't do because
hire Michael Bradley before New York does.
No, Bradley's down a different path. Like that's just why I get so frustrated when people start firing off. And I'm not saying this about you in your situation because you were joking. People threw Jim Curtin's name out. Jim Curtin cannot follow Wilfred Nancy. It would be Ange following Nuno. The same thing we just talked about the other way. You have to get somebody who makes sense. It doesn't have to be a facsimile, but it has to be somebody who has a similarity in it. And that's not Jim Curtin, unless he's going to change the way that he wants his teams to play, which he's never shown an interest in doing. He's also not going to go to Columbus because the big thing has been his family in Philadelphia. So, when that starts up, it's like, why are we wasting our time? The person that they should have went to get, which is now maybe a little bit of damaged goods because of Montreal being damaged goods themselves, would have been Laurent Courtois. Courtois was with the Crew too, did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is along those lines. I think he's even more aggressive than Nancy at times. Is he ready for this? Maybe. I really like him as a coach, but I think you have to look at him a little bit as damaged at this point, which is a shame because he would be the one if they wanted to take a chance. Bradley, with what he's done following a Red Bull manager into Red Bull, I think works. It makes sense. He subscribes to the theories of Red Bull soccer. It makes sense. I want to see what Columbus does because Nancy has created one of the best blueprints in league history. And you need to continue that even if you add on to it.
On top of that, I believe Tim Bezpachenko left a blueprint in place. Columbus is in a hardcore transition phase, man. I mean, you had one of the best executives in the league.
You got two guys who are older in Camacho and Morera as well. Nagby's retired, so your squad is changing over as well.
You're in that Seattle-esque era where you're gonna and I'm not saying you have to blow it up and tank or anything like. Obviously, you don't have to tank. It's MLS. But no, of course not. But you're in that area where I think Seattle was a year or two ago, where you're older, you need to start flipping different parts of this roster to be competitive now and then competitive down the road. So how do you do that? And it doesn't have to be one window of just chaotic magic. You can do it slowly through your academy, which is productive.
You're in a pretty good spot with, I don't know what your defensive look is right now coming up, but you've got Taha Habrun who can come in, and he's not Darlington Nagby, but you have a promising young central midfielder who can come into that spot, and he's going to add some different elements, and he's not going to do some same things. So you can deal with that. You're going to need, because Camacho was the key one for me with that team at all times. And when they didn't have Camacho, they didn't look as good. When they brought him in, that's when it all came together for Nancy. That's going to be the tough spot. But again, if you bring in somebody who maybe isn't as wildly aggressive with the way that they play the three in the back, okay, maybe it's a little more ordinary. You can find different ways to tweak it and find the right fits for things. But yeah, that's a really interesting job that is going to be open right now. St. Louis and what they do in the long run. Do they change away from what they've done already? I said from the very beginning that playing the style of soccer that they signed up for was absolutely the wrong decision in that town. St. Louis is a American soccer city that has a lot of history, a lot of culture, and generally a lot of ball players, not a lot of press, kick, run guys. They need to play, and they need to change over the way that they're structured. And I think you can do that easily with your academy. That's not an issue. But you need to change over the way that team plays, and they need to be something different. They've cleaned house, so we'll see what they end up doing. But I think it's a time for an identity change for St. Louis. Those are two big jobs that are out there that are interesting.
Bezbatchenko, for the record, is now the president at Black Knight Football, so he oversees Bournemouth and Moreirense for Bill Foley.
Yep. A couple other things I wanted to jump into before we start to edge into. I want to get into the World Cup draw a little bit and set the table for Friday. Just some things from around the world over the weekend. The Chelsea-Arsenal game was an interesting one. Started really good game, and then got super physical. I think there was a lot of yelling about the referee, and there was nothing the referee could do. The game got physical. He had to start calling it tighter and deal with it. The interesting thing about that game was the VAR situation with Moises Caicedo. It's a red card. It's a red card all day. It should have been a red card on the field. It wasn't. VAR handled it right, recommended a look. He goes to look at it. He shows the red. I think in general, everybody got it. There's always the colorblind people at times who won't accept that their player did something. And I love Moises Caicedo. We've talked about Moises Caicedo for a long, long time on these shows. But it's just a reckless tackle. He went in studs up on the guy's ankle. It's a red. It has to be a red. It needs to be a red. It was a red. Full credit to Chelsea for going a man down and going ahead. Full credit to Arsenal for dealing with that and getting something out of it. I still subscribe to my theory that at this point on December 1st, Arsenal is the best team in the world right now. I don't know if they will be at the end of the season, but they are right now. They've shown it pretty consistently with Champions League. They're 5 points clear in the Premier League. They are the best team in the world at the moment. We'll see if they can continue to be that.
And I will say to the Arsenal fans in my life, because even the ones that aren't on the show that I've texted with all the time, because what a good friend of mine just one, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Please. Mm-hmm. I understand that Arsenal has repeatedly throughout history kind of kicked you between the legs a bit. Like the club has in their performances. I understand that it's fallen flat at times. You left trophies on the table. You've had a heartbreak. It sucks. I get it. The Falcons fan, you think I don't know what this feels like? Screw you. When you have good times, enjoy them. Cherish them. Celebrate them. Because if you spend the whole time waiting for it to turn sour, you're going to go back and think about those good times that you left on the table that you didn't enjoy because you're too worried about things getting bad.
Yep.
So enjoy those good times. And it will look, when they turn bad, they turn bad. Good times don't last forever, neither do bad times. Enjoy this moment because, my God, it's fun to watch. And it has to be very liberating for that entire backroom staff to have been given the time to put their stamp on things and put their model in place and now generate what is arguably the best team in the world.
And then they bring in Gabriel Heinze, and he might win a Premier League on the bench.
Alex, we are going to fight next time I see you after I give you a 5-minute hug because I do miss you.
He'll kick you in the shins first.
I do miss seeing you. I miss seeing you all. When I was in town, I hoped to drop in on Station Soccer, but I wasn't able to. So cherish all of those good times because they don't last forever. You will regret not cherishing them when you're being a negative Nancy and just being a general pill to be around. I say this as being associated with Arsenal fans.
Liverpool finally got a win. Alexander Isak finally got a goal. That's good for them because they looked terrible in the midweek in Champions League. City looked really bad, and then they had a lead. Then they looked really bad. Then they came back and won, and now Leeds might be in the managerial carousel and might need to compete with the University of Kentucky for their next hire.
Oh, boy.
Well, I saw both Brendan Rodgers and Ange Postecoglou's names tied to that opening, and both of which Or like, can I get like, you know, those giant flags that the male cheerleaders drag across the goal line
Yep.
after a touchdown? I want one of those. I want to paint it red and fly it across the stadium with either one of those names. Because Leeds, you don't need to hire either one of them. Go get somebody who fits what you already do. And also, Ange, for the God's sakes, Ange, just go somewhere other than England. I know you want to make it work, but go rebuild your image somewhere else.
Leeds has settled into being a yo-yo, which is disappointing. I don't think that's what the 49ers want with their ownership. They almost need to go down to rebuild because they had an identity with Bielsa that was pretty strong, and then they went different directions, and they've tried and they've dabbled and they've went. I don't know. I don't really know who they want to be at the moment, and they need to figure that out. And going down would be the opportunity to do it. For me, I don't feel like Ange or Rodgers are guys who go in to fix a relegation scrap. They're guys who are builders. I'd rather have them take a team that's 12th and try to get them to 6th or higher than to take a team that's fighting for every point, because that's not the kind of soccer they want to play. We'll see.
Well, and to your point, I would be very careful about how I did that, not to be critical of Ange or
Yeah. You get.
I'll be critical. I'll be critical of Brendan Rodgers twice on Sunday, because twice now he has abandoned my club.
I don't like that he did it this time, not for anything. That's my frustration with. Like, it's one thing if you do it to take another job. If you're just doing it because you're not happy and you do it when he did, that's not acceptable.
Leicester was willing to wait for him last time.
I know.
And he dipped out early because he just decided to quit.
I know.
He's a quitter, John. He's a quitter, like a certain other coach.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about that.
I know.
But if to your point about being antsy, this is the tricky part, because if I bring in Ange and I'm a 12th place team, I'm bringing him in, and this is so much easier said than done. I fully acknowledge that. I'm bringing him in with the idea of, we're in 12th place. I'm bringing you in, understanding that there's a non-zero chance we get relegated. And
if we're in
while you
feel like
install
that's the spot, because you sit there and you're like, yeah, we could slip a little bit, but we've got enough of a cushion for him to build.
Yes, we're going to build. If we get into a relegation scrap, we're going to be able to stick it out with you, mostly because the money is good enough. And we believe in you enough to, if we slip, that you will be putting in a system in place that will get us right back up there and competing within year 3.
Yeah. We'll see. Leeds will be one to watch. I think City is just not quite whole enough to battle Arsenal and pass them.
Yeah,
I don't think Liverpool
especially
can
when you
pass
don't have
them.
a healthy Rodri to help out.
Yeah, Chelsea's the one who potentially could. I've really become impressed with Enzo Maresca, and I wasn't all that thrilled about him even the beginning of Club World Cup, but he's really grown as a manager. I think this was a huge point for him, and I think they're a team to watch that can push, but I don't know if they're quite ready for it. I think they're maybe a year away. So we'll see. Serie A right now is the best league in the world in terms of competitiveness. You've got Napoli, you've got Milan, top of the table. You've got Inter right there. You've got Roma right there. It's a really competitive league like it was last year. It is absolutely worth your time. La Liga is another interesting one with Madrid and Barca at the top. Madrid, 3 straight draws, and the whispers are turning into at least outside voices at this point in terms of the issues with Vinny, with Xabi Alonso, with people questioning Xabi. I mean, Madrid, the seat pretty much always stays hot. Like, that's just the nature of it.
It's just terminal.
Yeah, which is not good. It's a bad place to be, but I think Xabi is going to be a great manager. This might have been a snake's pit that he didn't need to take just yet. We'll see how it works out. I think he can get through it. I think the whole idea with Vinny and how that's going to get managed is going to be what makes it work. Honestly, the best thing that could happen would be for them to sell him. I think that would help Xabi Alonso get that team where he wants that team to be.
God, how much money you would get for that? You threw
Saudi.
get a bunch of cash.
Saudi's the only place that can do it. That's the only place that can spend that kind of money and pay him the kind of money it would take. There's not another spot in the world that could do it, that would do it. So, because a Premier League club wouldn't do it. Like, that's the thing, is he's too much of a liability for me. I don't trust him, so I'm not spending that kind of money. A Saudi club would take that risk because it's not as big of a risk for them. Also, off the field, La Liga, I talked about it in Morning Espresso this morning. They just secured a 6.1 billion euro domestic rights deal through 2032. It's a big statement to get that kind of money. It's not Premier League money, but to get more money than you were getting before, it's not easy to do in the media rights world right now, especially in Europe. So that could help La Liga really solidify themselves as number 2 behind the Premier League in terms of spending. I think Serie A has done a really good job of solidifying things. We'll see if they can go to the next point. I don't know if they're going to be able to find the money to do it. The Bundesliga kind of is what it is. It's very stable. I don't think there's a lot of ambition to go further than that. La Liga is the one right now that can kind of push, but not quite get there. Before we get into World Cup draw, because I want to talk about how all that's going to work, and we're starting to run out of time. The 2031 Women's World Cup bid books came out on Friday. I did a feature at soccerdownhere.net. Go read it. I went into pretty serious detail in not just like the book and what cities and all the basic stuff, but Atlanta's role in it specifically. Atlanta's put forward, along with Boston, as a possibility for the World Cup draw for 2031. The Fox Theater and the Woodruff Art Center are the 2 possible locations, along with one theater in Boston, that are the 3 possibilities for the World Cup draw. That's cool to see. They did not recommend anything on the final. In the past, bid books have. This one didn't. I think Atlanta will be front and center as a possibility for the Women's World Cup final, and some of that is me trying to manifest it into reality, and other is whispers that I've heard around the city from people that, I'd heard that it was going to be a strong pitch in the 2027 bid if that had actually come through, but that ended up getting pulled to wait for 31. Go check that out. There's a lot in that bid book that is interesting beyond just cities and stadiums. It's definitely worth some time digging into. And then you add on top of that the news that The Athletic dropped this morning that the U.S. could host Copa America again. I'll take another beer. I'll just say it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good. Thank you.
I'll drink his beer if you bring one.
Absolutely.
Come on. That's what's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
I'm having our Around the Corner lager, actually. Not a Miller High Life, but it's in a Miller High Life glass. I'll hide that. Around the Corner lager, not a sour.
We will not hide that when Miller wants to give us money. Then we'll put that front and center.
Yeah, probably not going to happen, but there could be another one that does. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. Things happen. But no, the news out of The Athletic this morning that the U.S. could host Copa America again in 2028. So you could be looking at a run of World Cup, Copa America, World Cup, Copa America in the same summer as the Olympics are here. Then 3 years later, the Women's World Cup. So yes, things could get crazy. But before they get crazy, we are going to find out on Friday what the groups are going to be for the World Cup. A couple of things to keep in mind when you start thinking about, well, what could be the group of death? What could be good? What could be bad? Just a couple of basic rules. And these aren't too difficult to understand. I think even John can understand them, possibly.
Whoa.
Maybe. You'll probably need like a giant legal pad or 2 or 3 to break all this out.
Whiteboard?
Whiteboards are too difficult for him.
Because then I would put my hand on the whiteboard when I'm trying to draw on it, and I would smudge things.
He'd have problems with that.
Yes, I would.
I have the coaching board. We could.
It's not going to help us.
Okay.
You have to have a European team in every group.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. There's going to be a UEFA team in every group. There can be 2 teams from Europe in a group, but that's it. Not every group will have 2 European teams, but every group has to have 1. And then for every other confederation, you can't have more than 2 teams from that confederation. Simple. It's not too difficult. The element where it gets a little tricky is when you go through and you pull pot 1 and you pull pot 2 and you pull pot 3. And then you get into pot 4. And that's where you have 4 UEFA teams that will have to go into groups that only have one UEFA team already or have somehow managed to not have one. Then they get forced into that. And then you have the 2 intercontinental or interconfederational path winners that could come from multiple places. And that gets complicated. And I just worry that you might have shenanigans happen at that point and have a situation, because you're going to have to look at it. Can you pull up? Never mind, I can do it. It'll take you 5 days.
Why?
I got it.
I have the Interconfederation playoff winner layout.
Oh, you actually did. I'm
yeah,
impressed.
Right here.
Well, I got it too. The path 1, you have a Oceania team. So that group can't go where New Zealand is, but is New Zealand in pot 4? Yes. So that doesn't matter anyway. Jamaica. So the U.S. can't get one of the interconfederation spots.
Okay.
The U.S. can't get Haiti, Curacao. So when you start to look at pot 4, actually, the U.S. group, since they are seeded, you can only get, pull it up, you can get Jordan, you can get Cabo Verde, you can get Ghana, you can get New Zealand, that's 4, or one of the 4 UEFA teams, because you have a CONCACAF team in each of the interconfederation paths. But I just worry that something's gonna get screwy, and they're gonna have this situation where the interconfederation path screws it up. D. Graham wants the U.S. to get Scotland and Ireland. I'll take that.
Oh, Flower of Scotland.
We can get onto this week, but
hold on. What that would mean, because then, okay, if you get the 2 European teams, so then your pot 2 would have had to have been one of Morocco, Colombia, Uruguay, Japan, Senegal, Iran, South Korea, Ecuador, Australia. It's actually fairly possible. There's not a lot of UEFA teams in pot 2.
I think I have seen more than once Scottish people want to end up in a group with the U.S. and Australia.
Scotland's in pot 3. They could get that. Yes, that could happen. I would take that group. If I'm the U.S., I would take that group in a heartbeat. I don't care about fun. I'll take that group because I'm getting out of it.
Yep.
I would worry a little bit about getting an Italy or a Denmark out of a UEFA playoff spot, because that tilts you pretty hard. Italy has not shown that they're going to tilt you very much right now. Sorry, Nick. But Denmark should have got ahead of Scotland, and they blew it in the last 2 games. So you want to avoid that. I think whoever gets the UEFA playoff winner could definitely tilt a group towards a group of death. For me, when I look at it, in pot 2, so the U.S. will be in pot 1. We know they'll be in group D because of the way things are already structured. You look at pot 2, I would want no part of Morocco. I would not want to see Colombia. I would not want to see Japan or South Korea, even though you just beat Japan. It wasn't at their strongest. But seriously, look, if that's what you're worried about, that's pot 2. That's not so scary. Pot 3, Norway is the one that will tilt a group. Norway is not a team I would want to see. Whoever gets them out of pot 3 is going to ruin your day. There are some teams who are coming in really bad form, had bad 2025s. Qatar was very bad this season, this year. Ghana was.
I know you say, Jordan, you say Denmark will be difficult. I think they will be.
They should be, but they're not Denmark, frightening.
They also just laid 2 eggs when they literally could not afford to. They're in this situation. They should have pressed Scotland and punished them more than they did, and They should be better, but what they should be and what they have been right now are two separate things that are separated by the length of my arms, which is significant because I'm a giant.
But if they get it together, which they have time to,
if they get it together, they're fine.
The worst group the U.S. could get would be Morocco, Norway, and one of the UEFA paths that would include Italy or Denmark. That would be the worst group you could get. I know Croatia's higher ranked than Morocco. Morocco would worry me more. And I think your group gets more difficult if it's US, Croatia, Norway, and then one of Jordan, Cabo Verde, Ghana, New Zealand. Your fourth team is I think if it's US, Morocco, Norway, and Denmark or Italy, you don't like that group at all.
I think we're contractually obligated to at least consider Ghana being a
part of it, but they have fallen off some. They're not what they used to be at the moment. I would not want to see them. Honestly, I would not want to see Cabo Verde. They have been very good over the last year, and they've beaten a lot of heavyweights, and they're a well-organized team. They worry me more than Ghana right now. So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like, you can basically look at, if you go to Wikipedia, for example, they're ordered by rank. So you don't want teams in the top of the pot. You want teams at the bottom of the pot. That's what you'd like to get. So you're looking in pot 2, you'd love to get, I don't want Ecuador because of the way that they play, but if you get Austria, yeah, they're going to press you, but they don't have a ton of top tier talent. Australia, you're not afraid of. Saudi Arabia at the bottom of pot 3, South Africa, Qatar, Uzbekistan, you're not afraid of. So it could get, like, you're going to have some groups that are going to feel really weird at the end of it, because you're going to have a group that you could have a group with Canada, South Korea, South Africa, and New Zealand. Like, that could be a group in the World Cup, which would be bonkers.
Tell them to cook the ping pong balls for you.
Well, that might happen.
Frozen envelopes.
We don't. No, there's no envelopes, John. There's no what envelopes? There's no envelopes.
No, it's the equivalent of the frozen envelopes.
No. He said ping pong balls. There's actual ping pong balls. That's
which is why I was about to say I said ping pong balls.
I know
a reason.
you think about your things sometimes. He just fires off things like frozen envelopes, which is a very old reference.
Well, I am an old man, so
yeah, but still, come on.
The youths will not.
They don't. I don't even know what that reference is anymore.
Patrick Ewing and the Patrick Ewing draft of the NBA allegedly.
Yes. All right. So I will do one of these. I haven't done one today.
Oh, simulator.
I'm going to do a simulator. Let's see if it actually gets it right, because I've seen a couple that have come up that are not legal because it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's
you know why? Because AI should be taken out back and shot with a 12
I don't think this is AI. I think it's like an actual formula.
Like a computer.
Still do it.
All right.
I didn't ask.
Huh? What?
I didn't ask.
No. I think it's like I got formulas and stuff. So in this one, let me make sure it's legal, at least from the groups that I'm worried about. I think so. Scotland went. You got Australia, you got Denmark, and you got Mexico.
Ooh.
That's how people die.
I think Scotland could get out of that group. Possibly.
I feel like Scotland and Mexico would hang out and become, and like that is a disturbingly good friendship developing that no one's really prepared for.
Yeah, I can see that. The U.S. got in my simulator I just did Cote d'Ivoire, Switzerland, and Jordan. I'll take that group. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Group E, Brazil, Iraq, Norway, and Senegal.
Wow.
Brazil and Norway would be a fun one.
Yes.
Argentina in this simulation got New Zealand, Tunisia, and Croatia.
And we're walking.
Croatia, man.
Hey, Croatia might punch you in the face, but
I don't know if there's really a group of death in this simulation. Maybe England, Uruguay, Ghana, and Panama. Maybe. That's somewhat deathish. Huh.
So
it's actually pretty even.
It's like a life support group.
This is a pretty even situation, and they simulate the playoffs too. Like you got the Dutch, Ecuador, Ukraine, and Egypt. That'd be a fun group. I would like it.
Man, Panama would just. There's when I tell you Europe that you're not ready for like the amount of ishhousery from Panama. I mean, you're not ready for it.
So
no.
So then, what would it mean for? So I imagine it simulates the matches and locations. Yeah.
Yeah, it simulates then what the schedule will be, which is you can't really do because FIFA will game that aspect of it because they're going to put games in the best time slots and cities to do that. And that's why you'll have the draw on Friday and you'll have the schedule come out 24 hours later.
Right.
Which is smart. I have no problem with that because you'll go into a group and the groups are determined what cities are available and blah, 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 blah. And then you can say, all right, like I look at this one and the games that would come to Atlanta, France, for example, would be a team that would come to Atlanta. You would want them in Atlanta in a 3:00 kick because it'd be 8:00 Paris time.
Yes.
So you would put that game there rather than have it be somewhere else to play at 6 p.m. in Dallas. Just putting up a possibility. So that part's fine. So just to refresh, the group format, you've got to have a European team. You can't have more than two. You can't have more than one of any other confederation. The draw it has a little bit of a funky element to where you will draw a team and then draw what spot they take in the group, 2, 3, or 4. So you'll have that. The groups with the hosts are set up a little bit differently because of that, because those cities are already nailed down as to where the hosts will play. That part's organized. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting day on Friday. We're going to have coverage all day long, starting at 9:05. John will be at the City of Decatur Watch Fest event at Benchwarmers in downtown Decatur. Madison Cruz and I will be here at the Brew House. We'll be checking in the morning show multiple times, and then we'll take it at about 11 o'clock and take you up close to the draw actually starting. It's going to be a full house here at the Brew House on Friday. Then after the draw is over, we'll have the reaction show that Maddie and I will handle from here in Atlanta at the Brew House. Then I'll have Atlanta Soccer tonight at 6 o'clock on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. And then we'll head up to NoFo Brewing in Gainesville for a little after party, some trivia, some giveaways, some fun, some shenanigans. Excellent, long day of footy.
And then Saturday,
yes,
it's MLS Cup.
MLS Cup, the schedule coming out at noon-ish. The MLS Cup game at 2:30, Miami and Vancouver. We'll get to that here in just a little bit because it is part of our picks of the week.
Still feels very weird for it to be a 2:30 game for my brain.
Yeah. Jordan, the one that I'm using for a simulator that I think is pretty good is worldcupsimulator.com.
Well, there you go.
There's some others that are out there I haven't played with. This was the first one I saw, and I think they did tweak their formulas a little bit to make sure you couldn't get illegal groups, because I had a couple early on that did that.
And to my knowledge, this is safer than using some of the websites that John uses to find.
It most definitely is.
His odds.
It most definitely is. Yeah. Soccer for Good OG. Yeah, we won't have a watch along during the draw. We'll have reactions on social media. Specifically, Jordan, it does do the schedules, but again, the schedules, like it's BSing you on creating that part, because that's going to come down to people and time zones and structuring that. Watch along for MLS Cup, possibly. Stay tuned. Possibly that might happen. That could happen. That could be a remote watch along for sure.
That's not.
Yeah, that could happen. But no, the actual schedule, like, you won't have any clue of that once the groups are drawn. Just because we can guess. I mean, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit Friday afternoon. Of, all right, this is the group. Atlanta's in this group. Oh yeah, there's a top European team there. They're probably going to bring them here and play them at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
There's a couple other cities that could be in that scenario. If you have an Asian team in the group, they'll probably be out west if you can help it. But if you get drawn into a group that doesn't have any Western options, then no, it's not going to happen. So, yeah.
I mean, look, if you can, and look, some of this is also playing into stereotypes, to be blunt. if I can station Japan their games out west and station them in San Francisco, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to station them in San Francisco and make their games out
But
west.
if they get into a group that doesn't have that option, then there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. But as much as I can do it, I'm going to do it. Also, a quick question before we get to picks of the week. What nation do you most want to see? I know it's Argentina. So aside from Argentina, what nation do you most want to see stationed in Atlanta and having their basically headquartered in the city?
Cabo Verde.
No offense, but no.
Give me somebody new.
You're not, John. I can guarantee you that if there is a possibility for a team to be based in Atlanta, it will not be Cabo Verde, because Atlanta United's training facility is going to attract one of the top teams in the world. Kennesaw, because of proximity, will probably get a next tier team. Then your other two options are Mercer University in Macon and the Baylor School in Chattanooga. That's where a Cabo Verde would go. They're not going to get Atlanta. I think you're going to get probably a top one.
Cabo Verde would have a great time in Chattanooga.
That'd be amazing. That'd be cool. New Zealand, Auckland was there for Club World Cup. You never know. That's possible. Out of the teams that I think,
put the Scottish in Chattanooga.
It could happen. Scotland's one. They're in pot 3, but they're going to have some budget to be able to spend and get a better spot. Now, I don't know if you're actually bidding to get these things locked down. I know people have visited Atlanta United, for example. I'm pretty sure people have visited Kennesaw. I know some folks visited Mercer during the soccer season when I was down there. So, I don't know if you're bidding. Again, if you get drawn into a group that's going to be out west, you're not going to take one of these spots. I think whoever bases, and remember, base camp is different from training. You're going to have teams that will base in Atlanta and hope to be here for a while, or base out of here and then fly to their game and fly back and train here and stay here. The Atlanta United one is going to be a Spain and Argentina, a France and England, a Brazil, Portugal, a Dutch, a Belgium, a Germany, maybe a Croatia or a Morocco.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavyweight. Yeah,
I think you're talking about that. The bottom end of that could be a Kennesaw plus a Colombia and Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal, Iran, South Korea, Ecuador, Austria, Australia, Norway, Egypt, Scotland. Probably those are the ones.
The culture exchange between Atlanta and Scotland could feed families, guys.
No, it'd be good. I mean, that's the other element to it. Because I think there's a very good chance, and this is just kind of judging from how the simulator is worked out, and it's not an exact science in any of that. You're probably going to get at least one team that plays 2 games here. I think you've got one group that plays multiple games, and you'll probably try to set it to where if that's a top team, they're going to be here twice. So you would have a top team based out of the Atlanta United facility, at least for the group stage. You will then have teams that will come in and train when they come to visit and play here. They'll come in the day before. They'll do a light session. You're going to have those elements too. So you could have situations where, because it happens all the time, whoever based here and based at Atlanta United gets knocked out in the first round, which probably won't happen with the forgiving format, but you never know. Or they finish third in their group and they get bumped out into the western portion of the bracket, and then they leave and somebody else moves in for a week at a time. Like PSG ended up being here for, a couple of weeks staying in Atlanta because of the way the Club World Cup schedule and format worked out. So we'll see. Noon on Friday is when the actual draw will start. It will have stuff that will happen during it that you'll probably want to walk away from or turn down, or I don't know, play Apple Music loudly of other stuff. Do it. Avoid what you have to avoid because it will happen. There will probably be some bad musical performances. Hit the mute button. That's fine. And then when the actual draw happens, it's supposed to last 2 hours. The actual draw should probably be about 30 minutes of it. But yeah, there's going to be some absolute ridiculousness, and just smile and nod, and it'll be over soon.
Yeah. Dancing, smiling, musical acts.
I'm just waiting on Kid Rock to perform. That's the one that I'm waiting on.
Just get past it,
Yes.
get it over with, guys, and you two can then start pre-gaming for both the MLS Cup final and the SEC Championship.
All of it, all at once. So if you are here in the A, you are looking hard at who gets drawn into Group H.
Okay.
There will be 2 group stage games from Group H in Atlanta. There is one from Group A, there's one from Group K, and there's one more that I'm missing somewhere. Because we have 5 group stage games. Donde está? Group H has 2 of them, has a first match and a second match. So that's where I think you could see the same team here for 2 games out of Group H. Group A, and then what's the other one? Group C has one of the last group stage games. So Group H is the one that you'll have the potential for somebody to be here twice. That's what I'm thinking. Jordan, I'm not sure what the giveaways are going to look like at the brew house yet. I know there's a lot of work on that. So not sure if we're bribing you to come or not. But stay tuned. We'll let you know on our social medias. We might be bribing you. It's possible. Anything can happen. Hello, Will. How are you?
We're not
definitely not above that.
No.
We will do what we have to do. I just don't know if we have any lined up.
We'll see if our friends at Decatur have anything lined up as well at Benchwarmers in the morning.
Yes.
I think I've delayed this enough for whatever.
Are you ready for picks of the week?
It's 7:08 my time, 9:08 your time. So yeah,
it just turned to 9:08. Yes, on my clock. So you are correct. Let's get into this. So let me pull up last week's shenanigans.
You don't have to do that.
I do a little bit. I will try to be nice because you were terrible. I mean, really bad.
How bad was he?
Just really bad. He was the only one in negative.
Will, I'm about to put picks of the week in the Discord right now, actually.
Yes.
Get off my back.
Yes. Will, you stop yelling at all of us.
I mean, come on now.
You stop yelling.
Well, I'm the one who handles this on the Discord.
But,
I'm the one who manages the Discord, and Jason sent it earlier. I've just been busy with
But
work
it
today.
had to get delivered to you, and there was a delay because the winner might not know what his name is.
Yeah,
We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
So going into the week, there were 2 people that had won multiple times. Jarrett had 3 wins. I had 2. Maddie still has not won, and she did not win this week. But her total is very good, and she finished second this week. She just hasn't won a week. Sophia was off gallivanting in Morocco. So she did not finish last because Jarrett did, because he finished negative.
So by not picking, so by choosing not to decide, she still has made a choice and still she got 0 for the week and didn't finish last.
I don't think she made a choice. I think she literally did not pay any attention to it because she was in freaking Morocco.
She did not care. She was living her best life.
She was unbothered by all of it.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't care. She's in Morocco.
Yes. All right. So
didn't she watch the U17 final or U20 final?
She watched a Morocco U17 game. Yes.
You know what doesn't matter when you're in Morocco? Everything else.
True. All right. Game 1 last week was Bodo Glimt hosting Juventus. That was all over the map.
Man.
Juve won, and Nick was the only one who got it right. And
it was like a later than late goal, too.
Yeah, it pained him to pick it, but he picked it.
Nick sold his soul for this win. That's basically the headline.
Game 2, I do not remember who won it. It's kind of a split between the Iberia Dinamo Tbilisi match. Everybody kind of balanced back out a little bit after game 2. Game 3 is where the whole thing got decided because Nick, once again, was the only one. We don't care who won, John. Doesn't matter. We don't care about the Georgian Liga. Jarrett picked it last week. We don't care. Don't put it up. I will mute you and I will ban you. Nobody cares.
I'm just curious.
Nobody cared when it was put on the board, but Jarrett put it on the board because he won, and he had that right.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about who won.
The Georgian game? I only picked the Georgian game because Tbilisi is where Saba Lobjanidze got his start and came up through the academy, and I thought it was a cool connection.
No, it's fine. It's completely fine. But we're not getting into the result of it.
That didn't piss you off nearly as much as the next game.
No, the next one is and it's what changed the whole week. Royal United and Patani FC in the Thai League Cup qualifying round, which we at one point wasn't sure was actually a real thing, but then we found it on some sites, but not on others. Everybody went for the White Squirrels or a draw except for Nick. He picked Patani FC with their little Lego tank on the logo, and they win. So that's what won it for him. He stayed ahead the whole rest of the way. Then we went UEFA Conference League. Then we went to the Bolivian League, where one of the teams that we picked got into a brawl that had 17 red cards.
That was amazing.
In a different game. Then we had the Norwegian relegation promotion playoff, which I picked, and we got a moment out of that I've never seen before. It goes to penalties. Bratvag had the lead and was going to go up from the second division.
Please don't do that
Then
again.
Bratvag. Then they conceded, and it finished. It was 2-1.
Please stop whispering Bratvag into my microphone.
John's creepy like that. Then it went to penalties because it was both 2-1s, even on aggregate. It goes to penalties. It goes to the fifth round of penalties, and the Moss FK kicker comes up to start the fifth round. And the Bratvag goalkeeper, who's Canadian, just comes running out and kicks the ball into Sweden.
I mean, it was full sprint, and he just pull hooked it, and it went right in the stands.
And then he got scored on. So it did nothing for him, and his team did not get promoted. They will go back to the second division and be sad.
And you got mossed.
Yes. And then everybody picked Miami, as they have. I don't know if they will this week, though. And then Real Betis won on game 8. So we finished with Nick at 1371, Maddie at 1006, John at 706, me at 380, Drew at 311, Sophia at 0, and then last place was Jarrett with minus 289. Wow. You got the Miami game right. No, you got 2 games right. You got the Miami game right, and you got the Bolivian game right somehow. That's it. Look, but, you picked the favorite who won you like $40 juice boxes.
Yeah. I'm here to win the degenerate games and nothing else, and to pick the degenerate games and nothing else. And I think it's an important service that we provide to the general public to make sure that we educate you about amazing teams and amazing crests that you otherwise wouldn't know about.
No, it's fair. It's fair. You just had a bad week. You had a very bad week.
Yeah, it's okay.
You are still first in the overall season total with 4,394 juice boxes and 3 wins.
I'm winning the Supporter Shield right now.
You're winning the Supporter Shield, and you're winning on wins. Nick is second on both. He has 3,707 juice boxes and 2 wins. I have 2 wins, but I'm nowhere near this on juice boxes. Third place is Madison, who has not won, but she has 2609 on juice boxes. Then Drew at 2216. Then Sophia at 1986. Then me at 1755. And then John at 1731 and last in the overall table. Bad.
Not a shock.
Bad. But you have 1 a week at least. So you have that.
He just says bad and walks away.
Bad.
Basically. So nobody got the prop bet of the yellow cards in, what did we do? Yellow cards in Liga MX or something? We did yellow cards somewhere, and I think, Jarrett, you actually missed it by 1. You still would have finished negative.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it was it was in the conference finals, I think, yellow cards.
Oh, yeah, the 2 conference finals. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Will, at this point, Nick doesn't know his own name.
No.
So there's that.
No.
So I will actually explain this. So no promo from Nick, exactly. He I asked him for his games, and he sent me one that is being played next week. And then he sent me one that I thought was wrong, but he was actually right. And he sent me 2 others that are correct. I said, what schedule are you looking at? He said, I'm on 3 hours sleep, so I'm probably seeing the ingredients for the color purple. Then he hadn't sent me any games, and I said, you need some help? Let me know what you want. And he sent me a picture of a camera, and he said, at a shoot right now, so we'll leave to your discretion. So then I said, I got you. Answer me this. You want full Lane Kiffin sicko behavior, or do you want basic shenanigans?
Oh, come on.
All caps, 3 lines, full Lane Kiffin.
Of course.
So that's what he got.
Of course he was.
We're going to 2 countries we have never gone before. He also delivered this quote for all of you to hear. Nick said this is the best decision for himself and his family. A full press conference will follow.
Yes.
What about the dog?
Yeah, I mean,
does Nick have a dog? I don't think he has a dog.
no, they do not.
And he doesn't fake that he has a dog. And he doesn't like have a dog that somebody else actually keeps the dog.
And has a social media account for.
Yeah, and uses the social media account to talk trash. Lane Kiffin's last tweet as an employee of the University of Mississippi was from his fake dog's account.
Mm-hmm.
I think he owns the dog, but he doesn't care for the dog.
No.
It's very confusing.
And left it behind in Mississippi.
Well, the dog didn't live with him. So, of course, he left it.
Maybe the dog was part of the job. The same way, like, Kirby Smart gets like an F-150.
No, that's not the story that I've heard. I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
Again,
it's not a really bad story, but yes, I'm going to leave it there.
Again, the SEC is not a real place.
There is a debate on who is getting the dog, if anybody. It was not one of the co-ed's dogs, Alex. No, I don't want to lead you down that line, but no, I do not believe it was that. That is not what I have read.
I'm pretty sure Alex can get down that line by himself without your
yeah.
Whose dog is Lane
No,
Kiffin's,
nobody
really?
Exactly knows. Like he got it from a breeder. It's a golden shepherd, retriever,
golden retriever.
Yes, golden retriever. So he got it from a breeder, and I think he had it, and then maybe didn't have time or whatever, or whoever was going to take care of the dog didn't take care of the dog, and then it ended up staying with somebody else, but it still came out for photo ops and a Twitter account. Yeah. And I don't think it was neglect, Will. I think that's a little harsh. I'm going to leave it there. But I think there was use of the dog for PR
it was a prop.
purposes.
It was a PR prop.
Which is maybe worse.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yellow Lab.
Yellow Lab. Okay.
LSU head coach, everyone. God, Kennesaw is like my one bastion of sanity left.
No,
and that's not saying much.
And now Jerry Mack's probably going to go to Memphis.
Has he actually changed his Twitter bio? Because he hadn't earlier today.
Well, he posted a picture of a tiger, so I took that as
no, but it still said like head coach Ole Miss football.
Head coach Ole Miss. Well,
he still hasn't changed it.
Yep.
They stripped him really fast of the check mark and the Ole Miss.
They put his clothes on the street.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I think they might have done that before they got rid of the Twitter thing. They took it from the dog as well. So, and yes, the dog reportedly had its own office, which could have been nefarious. But I digress. Let's get to picks of the week, which is always nefarious.
Oh no!
What? Oh no! What? Oh no! What?
Sorry, Young Wei Koo kicking for the Giants these days.
What happened?
He went to kick a field goal, and his kicking foot hit the ground about a foot and a half before the ball.
Chunk.
So he chunked his club into the ground like the way I would, like from a foot before the ball.
No bueno.
Juice is essentially a high-energy hunting dog that needs constant attention. Lane doesn't have the time, so the breeder became Juice's handler and babysitter. Juice would spend several nights a week at Lane's or at the kennels. No idea if Juice is coming to LSU.
Yeah. We're not even going to get into the yoga studios either. Let's move on to the picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
Lane Kiffin's going to have a segment at the end of the show. He's more entertaining than Nicholas Bentner these days. Was that the picks of the week? The horn?
No, that's just part of the LSU fight song.
Oh, fair enough. The one that they're not supposed to play, or the other one?
No, that's Nick.
Oh yeah.
See now. Yeah. See, if Jared started playing Nick,
I would have been entertained.
I don't want to get us kicked off the air.
You've tried before.
I failed.
You did. Picks of the week. Let's start on Tuesday. Copa del Rey, round 2. One club that I did not know existed and another club that I'd heard of. It is Club Deportivo Guadalajara in Spain.
Okay.
At, I believe, it's AD Ceuta, which I did not know their story. I'd heard of them. Guadalajara, the way that Copa del Rey works, you have to remember this. The lower seeded team from a lower league hosts.
Yes.
They are drawn to host. So the host is the underdog here, plus 310. The draw is plus 220. AD Ceuta is minus 132. And I apologize to the Cabaya fans who are probably yelling at me for not pronouncing it correctly.
The pro-rel American mind literally cannot comprehend.
No, it just can't. Club Deportivo Guadalajara in Spain. They are known as the Morados for their purple kits. They were born in the 1920s. They trace their roots back to military influence in the early 20th century. They were founded in 1920 by young officers and workers at city's aerostation service facilities. Guadalajara is a key Spanish military town. They rose to the Segunda División in 2011. That's probably their highest mark in their history. It was the first time they had ever gotten into the professional ranks. Then they got relegated. They stayed up 1 year in the second division. They were relegated due to alleged irregularities in a capital increase process. The drop back to the third tier set off years of instability, and who knows what level they're in right now. AD Ceuta. They're known as Cabaya. That's one of their nicknames. It's a local term for natives of Ceuta. They were formed in 2013 after the dissolution of a previous club, AD Ceuta, due to financial collapse. The current one basically inherited the history, the lineage going back to the 30s, whole bunch of different teams from Ceuta. They have become known for Copa del Rey upsets, even though they're the favorite here. They have beaten La Liga teams before. They got to the round of 16 in 2022-2023. They knocked out Elche, which is their greatest win ever. And they are one of only 2 Spanish clubs based on the African continent, along with UD Melilla. Their unique geographic position gives them a very distinct identity and rivalry culture. But yeah, they are on the actual African continent. So a really weird game. Yes, Guadalajara. Chivas is Nuevo Guadalajara. That is correct. So we have the Spanish Guadalajara, and they're not Chivas. They wear purple against a team from Africa that plays in Spain. John, what are you picking?
Ceuta.
You're picking Ceuta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick the 90-minute draw.
Okay.
Just because the Copa del Rey is usually full of insanity.
Yes.
Absolute insanity. Jarrett, what are you picking?
No, that's exactly what I was going to do. For the same reason, the Copa is so dumb.
It is so enjoyable.
I'm gonna take the draw, and I felt kind of dirty taking the draw, but this.
No.
To your point, Jason, like the Copa del Rey. No, John, I don't need your confirmation.
No need.
You're in last, John. Nobody needs your confirmation right now.
But I've won this year.
Jarrett's won 3 times. He doesn't need your confirmation. I've won twice. We're both ahead of you on all fronts.
No, it feels kind of
this
like
shocks you. How?
No, you just don't need to give it.
It feels kind of dirty taking the draw, but I'm going to take the draw just because this tournament's so stupid.
It's chaos. I think it'll be a draw, and then it'll be even more chaotic in extra time. All right, Wednesday, we're going to Mexico. Monterrey and Toluca in the Liga MX Apertura Liguilla semifinal, first leg in Monterrey, and the odds are very even. Toluca is actually the favorite, plus 140 on the road. Monterrey's plus 155, draw plus 260. I feel like we've gotten into some of the history of Monterrey already on the Soccer Over There Picks of the Week. Monterrey, one of the earliest professional clubs when they moved to it being professional in the mid-1940s. They were founded in 1945. Mexico started to have professional clubs in the 40s. Modern identity was shaped by a run from 2009 to 2013. They won 3 straight CONCACAF Champions League titles. They became a global powerhouse at that point. And one reason why is then they opened their new stadium, the Estadio BBVA, one of the most iconic venues in the Americas. It is known as the Steel Giant. It is a beautiful stadium. I highly recommend going when you get the chance. What?
It's not wrong. Steel Giant.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's gigantic. Toluca also has an awesome stadium. You won't see it in this game. You'll see it in the second leg. Toluca is one of the winningest teams in Liga MX history, 10 league titles. That puts them in the elite pack with Club America, with Chivas, the Mexican Guadalajara, and Cruz Azul. They were dominant in the late 90s, early 2000s. Enrique Mesa and Ricardo Lavolpe were your managers there. Their greatest player in league history is Paraguayan, Jose Cardoso. 249 goals for Toluca, 29 goals in the 2002 Apertura, which is insane. You're talking about like a 15, 16 game season, depending on the format, when he scored 29 goals.
Yeah, we're talking like point a minute Michigan level, like absurd.
You're talking about like 2 goals a game.
That's
like
what I mean.
Pretty much
like
2 goals a game.
You're talking about like video game numbers.
Yeah. Alex, this is what we love about Picks of the Week. Yes,
Yes.
he is on Wikipedia trying to figure out how Ceuta is still Spanish. I don't know either. Tell us, please. The stadium for Toluca is one that I definitely want to go see at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The Estadio Nemesio 10.
Yep.
Sits at over 8,700 feet above sea level. That's high. That's not as high as Denver, or is it higher?
No, it's higher. Denver is 528.
280.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Denver is right at a mile high. So
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Ish.
Mile and 6/10. Yeah.
Dick's Sporting
Okay.
Goods Park is very proud of, and they will let you know that they are 5,280
Right.
feet above sea level.
Yeah. And if you ever watch Liga MX on the Sunday afternoons, the Toluca, I guess, has the Sunday afternoon time slot for the home games.
They have historically been the 1 o'clock Sunday game. I think for the longest time they did not have lights, and that was why they got into that. And it was all like Wrigley Fieldish.
Yeah.
They did a massive renovation, if I'm not mistaken, in the last maybe 10 years. Feels like a very different stadium, but it still got the big home field advantage. So they'll have that in the second leg.
This is a
of
John.
this.
This is a John coded joke, but this is just Mount Perrin with extra steps, John.
Good
Yes,
grief.
exactly.
All right, Jarrett, what are you picking? Rayados or Diablos Rojos?
Diablos Rojos, por favor.
You're going Toluca on the
I'm gonna go
road in
Toluca.
Monterrey.
I'm going to go Toluca on the road. Weird-ish.
Okay. John, what are you picking?
I am going to go Monterrey.
I'm going to go Monterrey as well. I think Sergio Ramos scores a silly goal and does some social media videos afterwards, and then they get waxed in the second leg by Toluca.
Yeah, because was announced that it appears that Ramos is not going to renew after this season is over.
It's kind of in Lane Kiffin territory of like, well, it might happen. Well, it might not happen. Well, it might happen. What might not happen? Who knows? There's talk out of Spain that he really wants to try to play his way back into the Spanish national team, which ain't happening.
No,
Yeah, exactly. That was my reaction when I read that. I'm like, what? No, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. He doesn't want to retire. He's still going to play, and he's played well for them. I mean, he's done the job for them. He's been very good for them, so I can't complain. I just don't know what happens next for that group. They knocked out Club America, which was a good win for them, but I think Toluca is going to knock them out here. First leg, I think Monterrey will get the win.
Yeah. Yeah, like so. What does he do? Does he go full? Does he like hold out to the very end, and then he just go? I picture this world where he's like, you know what? I'm not going to resign, and then the next day he shows up in a promo for Club America.
That'd be hilarious. That would be amazing because he was singing the Club America like victory song in the locker room when they knocked out Club America, and that got people talking in Mexico. So
Like, just
not that he's going there, but that would be hilarious.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like that would be perfect. As if he's like, thank you for all. It just like the 2-page text.
No, I got a better one. Jared. So
okay,
he does that. He does the video like crying. He's talking about his time at Rayados and how much it's meant to him and all that. And then the next day he shows up at Tigres across town. That would be amazing.
Somebody would attempt to stab him unsuccessfully, or
no,
they might stab him and he might just invite it.
Yeah, like he would embrace the stabbing. I think he would probably hug the person.
He would just think he would just think you're spry and you got spunk.
He is insane in good ways and bad. He doesn't need to do any more music. That's not good, but he's had some success with it. Sadly, he's still got some game in him. He does.
Will if he goes to Miami and plays on a team with Miami or with Messi, Jesus Christ,
that would be hilarious. And
it would be.
If Messi thought he would help them win, he would be fine with it.
Yep.
But I don't think he suits where that group is going. So no, I don't think that happens. I don't know what happens to him. Honestly, that's going to be a really interesting story. I don't know what happens.
Well, now I'm on board. It's just like the multi-page thing, and then 10 minutes later, he shows up in a promo video for Tigres.
I want that to happen so bad. That would just be hilarious. All right, Thursday, we got 2 games. Let's go to the Seashells for the first time ever on Picks of the Week. Nick wanted full Lane Kiffin. He's getting it. The Bazaar Brothers FC versus Bel Air FC. We have no odds on the Seashells. Do not look for it, John. You will get viruses.
Do not do this. I'm not going to let you.
John's doing it, isn't he? Probably. We don't have odds, so it's plus 100, draw plus 125, plus 150 for Bel Air. So the Bazaar Brothers, or Bazaar Brothers.
Yeah, because there's only one. There's one Z, and the A's are separate. It's not bizarre.
It could
Bazaar.
be. You don't know. Do you know your pronunciations from
the
Seashells?
The Bays are the Seychelles?
The Seashells. Do you know any of it?
By the seashore, perhaps.
You know none of it.
I feel like there's a non-zero chance that John does know, and that's
he's pulled that before, and he did not know. I've checked him on it, so I don't trust. I trust John about like I trust the D2 SIDs to have their name pronunciations right on their roster.
That's
I don't trust D1 SIDs.
I'll tell you, you don't trust D1 SID. Let's leave the D2 SIDs alone.
Yeah, sorry, that was mean. I don't trust MLS teams' pronunciations. I go check it for myself. I definitely don't trust USL ones because we had one of the worst ones ever from Birmingham once.
Listen, let me tell you, when we talk,
Georgia Southern was terrible.
If you ever hear us talk about like Atlanta United's comms department has their ish together, we mean Atlanta United's comms department has their ish together. And if we could compare it to others, then you would truly understand how much they actually have their ducks in a row like functioning adults.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
There are some really bad phonetic pronunciations out there in the league. And like San Diego had one of their best player this year that absolutely made no sense and nobody followed it. So there you go. He might be guessing. The Bazaar Brothers or who knows, they hail from Praslin, the second largest island in the Seychelles, and grew from a tight-knit local football culture. They're in the top flight. They have been in the Premier League for a while now, the last decade or so. There's really not much else to them. Bel Air, they're known as the Brothers. I mean, that's basically like their nickname. Bel Air are the Eagles. They're one of the oldest community clubs around Victoria. That's the capital of the Seychelles. They have been a team that has had a lot of cup success. They have rivalries in Victoria. There's really not a lot on these clubs because there's just not a lot on this league. I do believe that
Côte d'Or is the current title holder.
Yeah, I think this is a 1 versus 2 in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
1 versus 5.
1 versus 5.
But they're separated by 3 points.
Okay. I knew I picked it because it was pretty good teams. And Bel Air just made me laugh. I mean, come on.
I mean, I get that. I understand that one.
It's Bel Air.
Yes.
Your performances as of late. Can we get form on these teams? No,
I had form. I get to figure out which bootleg site that I found form in.
Unbeaten in their last 5. The Brothers. Yeah, be careful on your bootleg sites. Bel Air's been all over the place. They got 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5. The Foresters are the number 2 team in the Seychelles. I'm trying to remember what it was, Will, the pronunciation for San Diego Superstar. I think it was Dreer, if I'm not mistaken. It was something that it came up and we're all like, no. And I went like hardcore into Denmark. So what are you looking at?
There's your form.
Yeah, we talked about it. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think it was Dreer, but we went through it and I was like, no. And all of us in the booth are like, no. Their mascot should be the Fresh Prince.
I mean,
OG, that's what I said, but it's not. They're the Eagles.
Will Smith will do a lot of things for money. Just ask him to show up. I'll bet he does it.
Oh, you know he would.
Get a ticket to the Seychelles Premier League games. You know he would.
You know he would. All right, John, who you picking?
I'm going with the Bazar brothers.
You're going with the Bazars.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with the Bazars as well. Jarrett?
The Bazar bros.
I am. I don't go with the Bazars. Yeah. I feel bad about picking against Bel Air, but also I don't feel.
I was going to say, you're going to go live with your auntie and uncle?
No.
Jeez. All right, let's go to Brazil. It's the second game of the day on Thursday after John just drove the train off the road. Cruzeiro hosting Botafogo. We're getting late in the Brazilian league.
This is when
John,
stupid things happen for those of you unfamiliar.
Yeah. John, you can look up the table in Brazil so we can talk about where these teams are.
Right on.
Cruzeiro, they're known as the Raposa, the Fox. They were founded by Italian immigrants. Began life in 1921 as Palestra Italia. They were created by the Italian community of Belo Horizonte. They changed their name in 1942 during World War II because the government restricted foreign-linked institutions. So they adopted Cruzeiro in honor of Brazil's national constellation.
There you go.
The Cruzeiro do Sul.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
There's your table.
Thank you. Cruzeiro is actually doing really well. They are in third place in the table on 69 points. Sean's a child. They haven't lost in their last 5, but they've had 3 draws in that. You're right, Jarrett. The results in Brazil get very weird at this stage. So this,
I need y'all to know that like last week, Neymar on one leg was like limping his team to a result.
Yeah, he did. He managed
trying to avoid relegation. To avoid relegation.
Yeah, he's got them out of the relegation spots right now. So this is 3 versus 5. Botafogo's trying to hold on to a Libertadores spot on 59 points. Cruzeiro is 10 points ahead of them. They're not going to be in the relegation spot. Mirassol has been the surprise in Brazil. They're in 4th on 63. Cruzeiro, they got relegated. They went into a very bad spot for a while. They have made a comeback. They're now back among one of the best teams in the country. One of the most decorated clubs in Brazil, 2 Libertadores titles. Ronaldo helped bring them back from the second division. He bought a controlling stake in the club in 2021, and his management and the people around him helped stabilize things. So good on Ronaldo, the OG Ronaldo, the big Ronaldo. Botafogo, the Fogão, the big fire. One of Rio's oldest and most influential clubs. They were originally founded as a rowing team. Then they merged their soccer and their rowing in 1942. Garrincha, who is one of the best players to ever play the game, who is one of the craziest stories of anybody who ever played the game. Highly recommend any documentaries you can find on Garrincha. He is from Botafogo and helped win the World Cups in 58 and 62 with Brazil. That was the golden age for Botafogo with Garrincha, with Nilton Santos, with Amarildo, with Zagallo, with Didi. One of the best club squads in South American history. They did some yo-yoing back and forth, and then our old friend John Textor came in, and he took over, and they won a title, and they won a Libertadores for the first time, and he doesn't pay his bills, and that's what we know about Botafogo. He still hasn't paid his bills.
Pretty sure a certain club in Metro Atlanta is still waiting.
Still waiting, from my understanding. From my understanding, still waiting. You got any thoughts on John Textor, Jared?
None that are appropriate that can keep this podcast on the air.
Fair enough. That's fine.
He is a cancer. He is a cancer, but not a unique one upon the world of sport.
Sadly not.
There are too many guys like that who talk a big game, throw money around, throw the theory of money around.
Theory of money?
Make things happen, make you feel good about everything, and then you're just kind of left wondering what the hell happened to your club while he says the check is in the mail, and the check, I hate to warn you, is not in the mail. Yes, Will.
Yes, Will.
From my understanding, Atlanta is still in CAS.
If they have been paid, I do not know about it as of yet, and Yeah, I don't know where it stands at this point, honestly, with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. He's absolutely a shyster, like a lot of these folks are. There was a report today that came out about him and
Evangelos Marinakis.
Yes, Marinakis, our Greek friend, doing business together to help each other out about valuations and all of that, which we already knew because it's how Matt Turner ended up at Lyon. And then they got rid of Texter at Lyon. They pushed him out because of all the politics of all the money he owes to various people. And then Lyon's like, we don't want Matt Turner. Can we cancel it? No. Well, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, New England, take him. Like, that was a help out Marinakis thing. Marinakis has spent money from Botafogo, maybe a little bit under market value. So all kinds of silliness. I don't think there's any rules broken, but it's just people doing business together and helping each other out.
It's a bunch of dudes spending money they may or may not have.
I think Marinakis has the money. I don't think Texter necessarily does, but I think Marinakis likes to have a pipeline to Botafogo and Brazil for his other clubs, so it's worth dealing with the shenanigans.
Yeah, and the conversations that Jason Stevens has with us discussing the economics of soccer, folks do business with Texter because of his non-soccer businesses, and that's why they put up with the shenanigans.
Yeah, to a point, and he's got Botafogo, which is a great talent developer. So he's going to have talent come through there that you're going to want. So you have to deal with him. You just don't have a choice. All right, John, what are you picking?
Cruzeiro.
Cruzeiro?
Yep.
You're going Cruzeiro.
Cruzeiro.
Did I get into the numbers on this one? Cruzeiro plus 101, Botafogo plus 300, draw plus 220. Jarrett, what are you picking?
I'm not picking Botafogo, just out of hatred. It's the same reason I don't pick teams owned by Foster Gillette or teams associated with Foster Gillette.
Yeah, he doesn't own anything. He's even worse than Texter.
Yeah, he still says, "Hey, I want to own this team."
He pops up every once in a while like a whack-a-mole.
Mm-hmm.
You picking draw or you picking Cruzeiro?
No, I'm taking Cruzeiro. Sorry, I should have clarified.
It's okay. I'm taking Cruzeiro as well.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Bangladesh.
There you go.
Another country we have never been to in Picks of the Week. It is.
I'm going to start listing off these countries like the Yakko naming the countries thing from Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Animaniacs. Exactly. That was what popped into my head.
It's kind of like I was like, look, where can I go that we have not been? And I have to be full degenerate Lane Kiffin in my picks. So this is what led me to Bangladesh. We are going to this is the one that was 1 versus 2. The second place team currently in the Bangladesh Premier League, Brothers Union FC, hosting the top team in the league, the Bashundhara Kings. We don't have odds from Bangladesh. Do not look. Plus 100 for Brothers Union, draw plus 125. The Kings plus 150. So, actually, I have a little bit on these. I have a little bit more than I had on the Seychelles. Brothers Union FC are known as the Oranges. They were orange, I think.
Okay.
They began as a community sporting organization in Gopibag, Dhaka, in 1949. They, over time, evolved into one of the capital's most respected multi-sport clubs, with football becoming its flagship identity in the 70s and 80s. 2000s was when they were at their best. They won the league in 2004. They had a ton of financial issues in the 2010s and 2020s, but they are still kicking, still doing their thing, and they're producing talent in Dhaka. The Bashundhara Kings, they are a modern powerhouse created by corporate ambition. They were founded in 2013 by the Bashundhara Group, one of Bangladesh's largest industrial conglomerates. The Kings were formed as a purpose-built professional project aiming to elevate the country's football standards through investment in infrastructure. They earned promotion 5 years after they started. They won the league title in their first Premier League season. That had never happened before in the domestic league in Bangladesh. The Kings became the dominant force in the country. They have also become a strong performer in Asia. They've reached the knockout stages of the AFC Cup, and they are consistently challenging more established South and Southeast Asian teams. They are pushing Bangladeshi club football into a higher competitive tier. I wanted to see what other sports Brothers Union did. I'm just curious. Cricket.
Understood.
So cricket was part of their thing. What else?
So this is the Top Flight. This isn't the Federation Cup.
This is the Top Flight. This is a league. This is 1 versus 2, John. This is a big game in Bangladesh. Football became the big thing for Brothers Union down the line. I'd like to know how they got their name, but I don't think that is known. So we have a industrial conglomerate owned club and a community club, the Oranges. The Kings, the conglomerate club, are the first place team, but they're on the road at Brothers Union in Dhaka. Let's see what recent performances have looked like for these clubs really quickly. So it's 2 hosting 1 in this game. Brothers Union, they have 2,400 people following them on SofaScore, which is kind of amazing. Lately, they lost a couple games in a row. They lost to Police Club, and they lost to Dhaka Abahani, but they are 3 straight unbeaten in the league, and they got a draw in the Federation Cup. I guess their cup has a group. So they do a group stage in the cup, which is complicated. But welcome to Bangladesh.
Yes, it's separated where brothers are in Group A, and Bashundhara is in Group B.
So Bashundhara has won their last 3, and they drew their opener. So are we just 4 games in Bangladesh? I don't know the calendar. People would be yelling here about calendar. Yes,
yep,
round
you're
5.
4. Yeah, you're 4 in. Yeah.
Round 5.
Yep.
Brothers Union and the Kings of Bashundhara. Jarrett, what are you picking?
I'm going to take the Brothers, even though it reminds me of brotherly love in Philadelphia, and I hate everything Philadelphia about sports in general, but it's not just a Philly Union thing. It's like this lifelong dislike of the Philadelphia Phillies, and like the top of the lineup having Doug Glanville, Marlon Anderson, Scott Rowland, Bobby Brady.
Mickey Morandini.
What the hell? What does that have to do with the mid-'90s? Like Bobby Abreu, one of the most underrated outfielders in baseball history.
No question. Then Home Run Derby messed him up.
Nah.
It did, but that was a beautiful home run derby while it lasted, baby. I watched that thing on an airplane, too. That was weird. I'm going to go Brothers on this one.
You're going to go Brothers Union. All right.
I'm going to go Brothers Union.
All right, fair enough. John, what are you going with?
I'm going draw because it's early in the season, and when you look at Federation Cup, they've both drawn out of the blocks in Federation Cup, and it's early in the season when it comes to the league itself. So I think that you're still trying to feel each other out and figure out where you are. So I'm going to go draw.
Both clubs have multiple Brazilians, which is interesting. Bashundhara Kings have a couple of Nigerians as well in their group. I'm going to go with the Kings. I'm going to go with the money. Sorry.
I feel like you saying multiple Brazilians also reminds me of watching Soccer Bowl when the New York Cosmos rolled in with like a known quantity into Soccer Bowl magically against Atlanta.
Yeah, and the Silverbacks had guys who were playing part-time, basically.
Yeah.
But, there's that.
What? You mean the Silverbacks were? Never mind.
Go ahead, wherever you want to go.
What, do you mean the Silverbacks weren't paying top dollar?
No. Well, I think actually at that point they weren't paying top dollar, but they were paying medium dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when Traffic Sports was funding it with probably ill-gotten funds.
Yes.
But that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
I mean, that's a 30 for 30. You're opening the door to a 30 for 30.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Probably a 60 for 60.
All I know, and it is my favorite story about that whole thing with Traffic Sports, is when they were trying to bring that back. I was helping organize some community get-togethers. They were paying dollars. They just weren't paying many of them.
Yes.
By the end, at this point they were paying dollars because they were paying it with ill-gotten funds, probably, allegedly, possibly. But when Traffic and good people with Traffic, and then people who also got indicted later on, were trying to bring this team back along with the Silverbacks people. No, the best thing is we did a community event at the bar's not open anymore, so it's fair enough to say, Diesel down in Virginia Highland. And we do.
Oh man, R.I.P. Diesel.
That was the best place. We next to this place, but it was the best place. We did the event out on the patio, and then when those things happened, like 4 years later, the owner of Diesel was like, he pulls up his phone and he shows me the picture of like the news article of the guy getting indicted, and he's like, "Didn't you bring this guy into my bar?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I didn't know." And two, I had nothing to do with that.
Hey, and shout out, by the way, because I think the statute of limitations expired on this one. Couple of when Nisa was trying to make things happen at Silverback's Park a couple of years ago, and Apotheos was playing. Apotheos had paid for the rights to play their night games at Silverback's Park when they had moved over there. And you had who was the damn Nisa team?
Atlanta FC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Atlanta FC. Atlanta FC went over there like, "Hey, we want to play here too." And Boris was like, "Hey, the only thing I have for you, if you want to pay for it, is to basically pay top dollar to play during the daytime in June and July in Atlanta on Silverback's turf." And they're like, "Let's do it."
And they had a grand total of 3 people who went to their games.
Yep. And that's over a 3-game period.
Yes.
And look, however hot you think field turf is, the turf at Silverback's Park is 18 degrees hotter.
I remember seeing people's boots melt.
Wow.
The bottom of the boot, where it's attached with glue to the upper part of the boot, by the end of the game, it had melted off. The glue had melted.
Wow.
Yes.
Somewhere in the ether of this universe right now, Abdul Bangura just shivered for no reason.
He did. He doesn't know why.
Why.
He doesn't know exactly why, and he's hoping it doesn't happen again. And so we should probably stop talking about the Silverback so we don't hurt him. Because
former Sierra Leone national team captain and Silverbacks captain Abdul Bangura, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet in your life.
Yes,
but he just shuddered like a goose walked over his grave, and he's probably wondering what happened.
Yeah, it's like saying Candyman 3 times or something.
It's kind of the same feeling. All right, let's go to Saturday.
Anyway,
yes,
the things that won't get us in trouble.
Allegedly,
it's
Inter Miami hosting Vancouver in MLS Cup. We've talked about Miami's history quite a bit. I did want to bring this up because what I do is I go through and I do use the dreaded AI as I work these together, as I start through it, and I do some research. But I always ask it on every club 3 interesting historical facts. So when we get into this, there's some that we've seen a few times. So I'm like, all right, I need more facts. I need more. With Miami, we go through more. But it did remind me of this little nugget, which I know we all know, but we haven't talked about in a while. Miami's early years included a major setback. MLS's largest ever salary rule violation in 2021, leading to heavy fines, sanctions, and a reduced budget.
This is literally the first thing I think about when I think of
I know.
I don't think about
it in a while, though.
I know, but all I can think about is the fact that they paid Blaise Matuidi
5 for 3
too much money to come to MLS 5 years after he should have come to MLS, so he could get bossed around by Santiago Sosa and numerous other players in this league, to the point where Blaise Matuidi was like, "No, I'm not doing this.
I'm out. I'm gonna go smoke a drag out back. I'm good.
I'm hurt. What's wrong with you? I'm hurt.
I'm hurt. That 5 for 3 was amazing.
Yeah, crazy, man. So yes, that Miami's come back from that
a bit. Yes,
a little bit. They've been
getting the best player in the world helps.
Kind of helps a little bit. Helps a little bit. Yes. They've been a lot of fun to watch in this postseason. Messi's been brilliant. Tadeo Ashende has been great. Javier Mascherano got a lot of BS from people when he signed with Miami, and then when people had seen things and should know better, he still got it, and then he got more of it, and now he is proving to everyone that he's a dog, and he's not afraid of benching his friends. And yes, he made big decisions, and they've paid off. I really like what he's done with this team. They are the favorite by a wide margin, as they should be. They're at home. minus 132. The draw is plus 320. Vancouver plus 270. Vancouver has also been a lot of fun to watch in this postseason. I thought LAFC would get here. They didn't because Vancouver knocked them out. If you don't
dumbest
know,
game you've ever watched.
Oh my God.
it was really good. It was really good. If you don't know the Whitecaps story, they will claim the history from before. They are not the same club. Don't let that happen. Will, stop being a hater. They probably are under double secret probation in these things now.
Don't you do it.
Is somebody maybe getting paid in other ways to be there?
Oh,
Probably,
absolutely,
but they're not breaking the rule.
Yeah.
They just
NIL.
basically, yes. If we can do NIL, we can do anything in this world.
They are. Look, we long ago established this, Will, because it's college football adjacent. Let's do this because I can make this work.
Yes.
It's kind of like Ole Miss. Ole Miss hit the ground running in NIL because Ole Miss has been paying players under the table in the most efficient way possible for over a decade.
Ask
if
you
not
Freeze.
more. Yeah, Ole Miss perfected this, so they're like, "Oh, we can do this legally. We already have the whole system set up.
We already
Yeah.
have the system, and it's illegal now."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is they had already dug the tunnels, they had built the wiring, everything was already done.
All they had to do was this.
Miami's going to be the same way, man.
Yeah.
Yes, because the Bagman article goes here.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
It's the same thing. Miami had already put the infrastructure in place, and then the league was like, this is legal now. Miami's like, hot damn, let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Luis Suarez possibly the highest paid babysitter in Broward County?
I
Yes,
bet.
Yes,
Mhm.
he might
That
be.
hourly wage.
He is getting paid to watch the Messies.
He very well could be.
Mm-hmm.
And that is he just comes over, hangs out, grills some food out back with Leo, and they're like, we paid him to come over and watch the kids.
Yeah.
He
Or
probably
he's getting paid in stock options.
He probably spends more time at the Messi house than Juice Kiffin spent at the Kiffin house.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Vancouver.
Poor pup.
No, I mean, I think the pup's living a good life, but just doesn't have a dedicated family
Yeah.
because it's a PR prop.
Yeah.
Because that's messed up. Anyway, let's go to Vancouver.
That's messed up.
It is not. I'm going to cut you off, Jared. It is not the same club.
If
Do
we
not
talked
let
about
people
this
lie
in
to you.
Europe, then my God, if we had this in Europe, everyone would lose their shit. But because it's college football, oh my God, this is the perfect plot. The dog thing. If this happened in Europe, we would spend an hour talking about it.
Could you
And for college
imagine-
football, we're just like,
Could you
this
imagine
is
Talk
part of the
Sport
story.
No. Could you imagine El Chiringuito
Oh.
with this? if
Oh
this
my
happened?
God.
Yes.
That would be the
Oh
greatest
my
thing.
God.
ever.
They would you'd have like 6
Xavi
people.
Alonso has a dog that was given to him, and it just lives at his house, and it's a prop, and it's been given its own Real Madrid Twitter account, and then he leaves, and the dog stays.
Yes.
Yes.
It would be the greatest.
Oh,
thing.
that'd be great.
Now,
Anyway, yeah.
that would be a Barca thing. Real Madrid would be smarter to handle that, though. Barca would be sloppy and
And Barca would screw up. Barca would screw up the financials on it too.
Yes.
Anyway, Whitecaps are frauds.
Yeah, Barca would screw up the financials having to do with the trainer and the border for the dog.
The Whitecaps are not exactly frauds, Jarrett. They claim things that they shouldn't because their lineage does not go back to the NASL days. They can claim legacy of that, but their lineage does not go back to that.
So legacy, but not lineage.
Because their ownership has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Same as Seattle, same as the rest. Any of those that went earthquakes, any of those that did that, it's awesome that they have the legacy, but it is not the same club. The Vancouver Whitecaps can actually take their legacy or their lineage back to the Vancouver 86ers of the A-League, because that team then took the Whitecaps name on and went into the USL and then came into MLS, and there was an ownership shift. Seattle did the same. The Seattle Sounders lineage includes them playing at Adams Stadium on North Druid Hills Road against the Atlanta Ruckus because Adrian Hanauer brought that group through. But they can't go back to the old North American Soccer League. That part is not true.
Dave Johnson calling games at Adams Stadium was
Yes.
one of the best reveals we had all season on the morning show.
He called games on Prime Network. Of course he was at Adams Stadium.
He said, "I heard this stadium is just concrete and we
That's it.
sweating in the
Straight
middle
up.
of summer." And and I said, "Adams Stadium." He goes, "That's it."
The worst injury. What's up, Forecard? The Forecard, you're gonna have to get caught up on Twitter on the dog and
Talk to Will.
Wow.
Yes,
Will can help you.
Will can fill you in. Kiffin
Will is our Sickos correspondent.
Joseph Petterall trying to figure out
Oh my
Lane
God.
Kiffin would be the greatest. So since we've got completely on another tangent, this did involve the Seattle Sounders, which is not the Vancouver Whitecaps, but I'm going to share the story anyway. The most disgusting audio of an injury that I have ever heard was at Adams Stadium in a Ruckus Sounders game in 1996. Chance Fry, I think it was his last game he played in his career. It sounded like a shotgun in the stands when two guys slide in for the ball and Chance Fry's leg broke.
Oh, no.
It sounded like a shotgun.
Wow.
It would. I thought a car backfired on the other side of the stands. Like it was
somebody was over
somebody
was over at the Richway and something happened.
And that was a game that was on national TV.
No.
And had a very long delay. Yeah, that was not good. Yeah, it was bad. Vancouver, let's go back to them. They started in MLS in 2011. They have won the Canadian Championship, which is like winning a Richway prize of some sort, because for a longest time, there's only 3 teams in it. Now there's more. It's still basically like winning that. They did beat Miami in CONCACAF this year in the semifinals. They got past them. Miami's better now. I think Vancouver's better now too. It should be a really good final. I'm really looking forward to it. If it wasn't going to be LA that got to this point, this is the best game that MLS could have asked for. Sorry, Philly. Sorry, the rest of y'all. This was the game you wanted. It's in Miami.
Fucking LAFC, you crybabies. You were up 2 men for 30 minutes, and you couldn't score. You couldn't stop hitting the post.
Oh, man.
Cry me a river.
Basically, yes. Will is explaining Lane Kiffin and his dog. Jordan, yes, that is correct. That is the Adams Stadium. We got to pick this game, Miami and Vancouver. John.
90-minute draw.
You're going 90-minute draw?
Yep.
That's gutsy. Are you just doing that because you actually think it's going to happen, or you think like you're just trying to be like you're trying to be alternative? Trying
to be edgy?
You're trying to be like that
edgy with the finger pistols?
The kid in high school who like grabbed a leather jacket one day out of nowhere, and you're like, what?
Went to members only and tried to look like everybody else?
No, they didn't have members only leather jackets, John.
No, I legitimately think that Vancouver will be frustrating for Messi and friends.
Will, be careful. Just be careful. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Be careful. Okay. Jarrett, what are you picking?
You talked about Javier Mascherano deserves his flowers for the brave decisions he made. The last Miami manager did the same thing. Phil Neville also made brave decisions, benching the Hamburglar, taking the badge away, taking the armband away from him. And
he did.
Hey, that bravery paid off and got them into the playoffs. This time it's going to pay off with MLS Cup. Messi picks up a cup, and his boys get to retire carrying a trophy off into the sunset. This is not a slight on Vancouver.
Yeah, I just think Miami takes it. I think it'll be like a 3-2. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a great game. I could see extra time. I could, but I think Miami will take care of it. I think they'll get through it. All right, let's go to Sunday. We got 2 games on Sunday to get through as we have run way long today because Lane
Can't imagine how that happened.
I'm blaming it all on Kiffin.
Exactly.
I mean, he was late like 30 minutes for his presser at LSU today because he's Lane Kiffin.
I had to call a cop because people were mad at me.
Well, no, that part did happen because they were. And yes, that happened. But anyway, let's go to France for the first game on Sunday. Yes.
France.
We're going to the bottom of the table. I think it is absolutely the bottom of the table. Auxerre and Metz. Auxerre plus 100, draw plus 250, Metz plus 275. Pull up the table from Ligue 1. Auxerre, Le Bleu et Blanc. They are known for having one of the longest managerial tenures in the world. Giroud is the most French name of all time. Giroud. 40 years of managing this team, 1961 through 2005.
What?
Yes, Giroud. He started in 1961. He managed through 2005. He took a break somewhere in between because he was tired, probably.
Would you just smoke break?
Probably.
Auxerre went from amateur to Ligue 1 and won the double in 96. That was their zenith. won the Coupe de France and won Ligue 1. They have been a club that has consistently produced elite French talent. Notable graduates include Eric Cantona, Djibril Cissé, Benoit Cheroux, Felipe Mexis, and Alain Giresse. One of the top talent developers. They just don't have a lot of talent right now. Where are they in the table, John?
Auxerre is dead last, and they have scored 8 goals in 14 matches this year. They've given up 20.
They stink.
And they snapped a 3-game losing streak with 2 draws in a row to get them to 9 points on the season through week 14.
Where's Metz in the table?
Metz would be directly above them.
Yes.
2 points away from them. They are at 11 points. They've lost 2 in a row. They are 3-2-9. They have scored 14, so they're averaging a goal a game, but they're also allowing more than 2, having given up 31 goals already this year in 14 matches.
Les Grenats, the deep garnet-colored kits of Metz. Their identity is shaped by their location in Laurent, a region that changed hands between France and Germany multiple times. They have been a giant killer in Coupe de France. They won in 84 and 88. They beat Barcelona in the European Cup Winners' Cup, one of Europe's greatest shocks ever. They have also developed a lot of talent because France has had a lot of talent. Robert Pires, Sadio Mane, and Kalidou Koulibaly came out of Metz. They bring a lot of West African players into France at Metz. Les Grenats against Les Bleuets Blancs. John, who are you picking?
Draw.
You're picking a draw.
Yes.
After all of that.
Yep.
Jarrett, what are you picking?
Metz.
Georgia Tech has a campus in Laurent, so Will is picking Metz.
Look,
I'm not up on my French, Alex. Sorry. I was Americanizing it.
Anyone who survived Georgia Tech gets to do whatever they want in terms of picking.
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
Everyone I know who went through Georgia Tech has long-standing PTSD, test-related trauma, where all of them have nightmares that they wake up from in a cold sweat, thinking about some random thermodynamics test that they have to do. It's not real, but it still wakes them up every night. I've had this confirmed by 8 different Georgia Tech graduates.
I was not going to bring up Georgia Tech on this show. I wasn't going to do it.
I can't imagine.
I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't. I could have, but I wasn't. I'm not gonna.
At least, see, 1,000%. At least every 2 months. Every person I know who graduated from Tech has to deal with these just absolutely crippling nightmares that just infest their mind for the remainder of their existence. I have nothing but sympathy for them. Because Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I have sympathy for them for other reasons, but I'll leave it at that. Let's go. I need to pick something.
Yes, you do.
Jared, did you pick anything?
Mets.
You picked Mets?
Beat the Mets. Greet the Mets.
How did you pronounce the home team?
Auxerre.
Auxerre?
Uh-huh.
I will pick Auxerre. Just because I like it. Napoli hosting Juventus. That is our Serie A.
Alex, you say that like you aren't going to talk trash to John next time you see him in person. After what the hell happened the other night between a certain club in Gainesville and a certain club in
look, that's shit.
I wasn't going to bring up those either, but that's all I'll say. Because FSU is terrible.
They're ass.
Terrible.
They're mediocre ass. I mean, look, you could suck, and you're worth talking about. You want to be talked about because you're either really good or because you're really bad.
Terrible.
Florida State is mediocre at best.
Terrible.
And they are ass. And our production chain on days like that
are amazing.
Look, it was a 3.5-hour screed going up against the low-down dirty cheaters of the University of Coral Gables.
Oh, that was amazing because I have an affinity for the U. I always like the U.
Anything orange and green, no. And
on my NCAA football legacy season that I did,
yeah.
I always started Georgia State just because I want to start somewhere small.
Yeah.
I went to North Carolina for a little while.
Okay.
And then the job opened at Miami, and I beat FSU every single year. Ha!
Everybody knew in the stadium that Danny McManus was going to throw the 2-point conversion to Pat Carter in the back of the end zone, trying to get the win at Doak Campbell Stadium. And so naturally, with a 6'5" tight end, you're going to take the Blades brothers and you're going to double team the tight end.
Alex might be right. I do have a type, I think. The U and Argentina, they would be in the same category.
See, now, if Argentina came off of playing dressed in camos for the World Cup,
they would. Like, do you think they wouldn't?
Oh, I think it'd be awesome.
They would.
I can separate that from the convicts. I can separate that.
Oh, see, here we go. This is where he gets completely out of pocket.
I can absolutely separate
the convicts.
Yeah, like you don't want to talk about all of the shenanigans that have happened in Tallahassee.
Look, I saw the shenanigans in Tallahassee.
Yeah, so
I know exactly what happened.
So you need to watch the pointing fingers in other places because y'all did the same stuff.
I will be the first person to point fingers at us because I saw it.
Yeah, y'all did the same thing. Everybody did that stuff.
I know exactly what happened, so I have zero qualm pointing a finger at myself for shenanigans that happened when I was in school.
They don't have any money for shenanigans anymore.
No, we did it. We used it to renovate a stadium instead of pay a buyout for a coach.
No, they did too many bad shenanigans too, and now they watch all the coaches moving around. They're like, "Oh, we can't join that party."
No, because we can't spend $45 million now because the buyout went down $8 million today. We can't spend $45 million to buy out a coach because we renovated a damn stadium, which needed it, by the way. And so
spent that money before instead of giving it.
And I'm picking Napoli anyway.
You're picking Napoli?
Yeah.
What do I have anything to say about Napoli that we haven't talked about? They're from the South.
We're also 12 minutes over.
Yeah. Everybody hated Napoli. There you go. Juventus. A lot of people hate Juventus too.
Mm-hmm.
Juventus came back from the
Calciopoli,
the scandal.
Drink.
Napoli came back from going broke. Aurelio De Laurentiis is insane.
I enjoy the movies that he directed.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going Napoli as well.
Okay.
Because I'm a Napoli fan, of course.
Jarrett,
what are you picking?
Give me Napoli.
Okay. Napoli. We'll see if Nick picks Juventus again.
Yeah, really?
He did last time it worked for him, though.
Yeah.
He won last time. We'll see who wins this time. Let's see if any of the Village Idiots have done anything stupid as of late. Nicholas Bentner might be kicked out of the list because he's just been
disappointing,
pretty normal. See, they keep bringing up old stories again.
See, that's just boring.
So what is this one? It's in an outlet that we don't really like very much.
The 4-letter paper.
The 4-letter one, yes, not the other one.
No, the 3-letter, the 4-letter.
So, this was after the Idrissa Gueye slap of his teammate.
Michael Keane,
it was, I guess, a compilation. The most dramatic meltdowns between footballing brethren. So there's a whole bunch of them.
Macca.
The one about Nicholas Bentner. The Newcastle one's probably the best one. The Bentner one, I'll read it to you. Arsenal striker Emmanuel Adebayor and Nicholas Bentner apparently had a frayed relationship. The Gunners were down 4-0 in the League Cup semifinals at Tottenham Hotspur, a tie they blew 6-2 on aggregate, when Adebayor came on and was allegedly furious that he had to waste his energy to make up for the Danes' shortcomings. Bentner scored an own goal that game. He explained in his autobiography that came out in 2020, Adebayor shouts that it's my fault he has to come on and waste his energy. I'm here because you're playing like ish. He said, it's not especially encouraging, and shortly after when we win a corner, we both seek out the back post. There's a lot of pushing and jostling, and suddenly we're fighting each other. We push it back and forth while the Tottenham players watch in puzzlement. Afterwards, Adebayor claims I gave him the finger, but I don't remember that. What I do remember is him sticking his head forward. That's the thing with him. He behaves illogically, completely unpredictably. I don't know if it's totally deliberate, but it feels like a headbutt right on the bridge of my nose. The blood gushes out and my nose swells up as if it's not big enough already. William Gallas rushes over and pulls us apart, but Adebayor isn't done with me. He has to be escorted away while the referee books him. And then Tottenham won 5-1. Then they got into it in the dressing room again.
Of course.
Things I wouldn't be able to utter 12 years later. And he got fined 2 weeks' wages. Okay.
So it's one of the top coming togethers between teammates.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's all Nicholas Bentner's been up to. Something that happened in 2008.
So they decided to come up with a top 5 list.
Basically. And he made it. So, I mean, yay, good for him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that if I didn't acknowledge the equal shenanigans in Tallahassee,
Yeah,
versus,
but you gotta stop with the convicts thing, because that's completely way over the line of
that's
like
always Catholics
anything,
versus convicts. It was on a
which
t-shirt.
was always over the line because it was extremely racist.
Can I bring up Uncle Nevin?
Sure, but the convicts thing is racist because it came from the Notre Dame game, which is very bad. So don't reference it. Don't.
So don't bring up Uncle Nevin then.
And if you want to talk about cheating, you guys need to watch the pointing fingers at
Dude,
anybody.
like I said, I will stipulate that it's all happened. I'm not in denial about those opportunities.
So can I ask you to stop using the terminology? You can call them whatever you want. Don't use that one because it is rooted in bad things.
What, the low down dirty cheaters?
No, that's fine. Don't call them convicts. That is very unbecoming of you, John. Please don't.
I always call them low down dirty cheaters.
That's fine. That's fine.
And like I said, I will stipulate to things going sideways in Tallahassee too.
Free Shoes University.
Absolutely.
That's all I know.
You know how that goes.
Absolutely.
I don't like quoting the guy, but it's true.
4Card has a question about Eder Militao.
What did Eder Militao do?
Is he the new Icardi?
I need to get caught up on that one. Give me time, 4Card, and I will get you caught up on that one. I need to make sure he is worthy of the list. Bender might be off the list. He might be off the list. Icardi, I don't think there's really much. Everybody said he's not like Victor Osimhen, which he's not, so that's true. He's made 100 appearances. That's cool. No, here we go. This is from a couple weeks ago. We did not get to this before because I did not see this, but this is a headline that is worthy of Soccer Over There to wrap up the show. Headline: Mauro Icardi furious after Wanda Nara's surprise photo with Johnny Depp.
Whoa!
Wanda Nara has stirred headlines in Argentina, angered her ex-husband Mauro Icardi after posting a surprise photo with Johnny Depp on social media. We know Johnny Depp was at La Bombonera. He got a Boca jersey. The Argentine presenter, she's hosting MasterChef in Argentina, shared the picture online thanking Depp for his kind words. It went viral. According to Corriere dello Sport, in Italy, they like to stir the pot, Icardi was left furious. He previously admired Depp, immediately unfollowed the actor on Instagram, which is amazing if that actually happened. And people say that he's jealous. If he went and unfollowed Johnny Depp because his ex-wife took a picture with Johnny Depp, that sums up Mauro Icardi for you.
Okay, so do we have a tiebreaker this week?
Yeah, we do. Sorry, I should probably do that.
Well, so while you're looking at that, here's the Eder Militao.
No, I have the prop bet. The prop bet is how many goals scored in the 4 games between the Liga MX semifinals. So it's 4 games, 2 legs: Monterrey Toluca and Cruz Azul Tigres. How many goals in the 4 games? I am going with 9.
$11.
Okay.
All right, so Jason went with 9. Jarrett went with 11. And I'll go 14.
Okay.
Eder Militao, headline, Pulse Sports from Nigeria. Real Madrid star set to marry the ex-girlfriend of his ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
Real Madrid star set to marry the ex-girlfriend of his ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend.
That's
messy.
Really messy. Like, I would expect this out of Oxford right
this
now.
This is like who was it? It was
I don't know.
The two Yankee pitchers that swapped, Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich. They swapped wives in the 1970s. So Eder Militao and Tena Castro, and this is back in Thanksgiving of last year, so a year ago, will reportedly wed next year after the pair switched love partners. Eder Militao is gearing up for a love story. The reports from Brazilian media has confirmed that the Real Madrid defender and his fiancée Tena Castro are set to say "I do" in January. According to Extra, the wedding promises to be an exclusive affair with an ultra-private guest list featuring only close friends and family. Speculation suggests the romantic ceremony will unfold in the picturesque city of Rio de Janeiro. But here's the twist. Tena, a medical student and influencer, has a curious romantic history. Apparently, she's the ex-girlfriend of Flamengo defender Leo Pereira, who, in an uncanny turn of events, is currently engaged to Militao's ex and the mother of his child, Caroline Lima, a love quadrangle that has everyone talking.
That's a rhombus.
So there you go. So Eder Militao might be coming out of lane 8 to be a new one.
I mean, that's something. All right, we're going to end on this one because Mauro has been in the news as of late.
Oh?
There's been good ones.
Photos.
This is an old story.
Oh, damn.
But the headline is the Sicilian Mafia wanted to punish Icardi for stealing Wanda Nara from Maxi Lopez.
Whoa.
A Catania forward personally saved Mauro. Wow. So former striker Gonzalo Bergesio, he has revealed a chilling episode, a link to the famous love triangle involving Mauro Icardi, Wanda Nara, and Maxi Lopez. So if you don't know, Wanda Nara was married to Maxi Lopez, and then she left him and got with Mauro Icardi, and then became his agent, which was very messy. And reportedly, there were other teammates that might have been involved in things at various stages. So Bergesio did this show, Más de una Copa. It's a radio show on D Sports Radio. According to the Argentine forward, at the height of the tension between Icardi and Lopez, some individuals connected to Sicilian organized crime allegedly offered to help Maxi Lopez take revenge on his then friend and teammate for the relationship.
Maxi Lopez.
They said to Maxi, quote, "Do you want us to go after that guy?" I was there. I heard it with my own ears. The former Catania player added that Lopez's calm response prevented a potential tragedy. Did he save his life? Literally, yes. Maxi replied, no, calm down. Wow. Mauro, messy. We're going to end it there.
Yeah, bud.
Mauro and Wanda, messy. Johnny Depp getting unfollowed on Instagram. Eder Militao might need to be on the list now.
Yeah,
we've learned a lot on this episode of Soccer Over There. Again, we will have World Cup draw coverage all day Friday, starting at 9:05 from Decatur, from the Brewhouse Cafe. Then we'll have a reaction show from the Brewhouse Cafe. Then we'll have Atlanta Soccer Tonight. Then we'll have a soccer trivia contest at NoFo Brewing in Gainesville. It is going to be a long day. It's going to be a chaotic day. We will tell you everything you need to know about all of it. We'll give you our thoughts. Then the next day, we will talk about the schedule, what games are coming to Atlanta, and then we'll talk about MLS Cup because that will continue the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for all the chaos, Jarrett.
You're welcome. I'll give you more. Look, I should be available pretty much all day Friday for all of this chaos as well, and we'll be able to chime in accordingly when we need to, responsibly and irresponsibly, because that's what
you are an agent of chaos. So yes, that would fit.
Sometimes we just are what we are.
You know, you got to lean into what you do well.
No, that's fine. Hey, John, Kalani Sitake might turn down Penn State.
Oh, jeez.
And then they're going to chase after Heupel.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Heupel said he doesn't intend to be a candidate. Imagine if both of them.
I'd never intend to be a candidate.
That sounds like a comeback.
Yeah. That is such a toss-off.
No, that is a comeback.
Imagine if
I never intended
Imagine if that living Bobby Hill chose to stay in Knoxville, and Penn State got turned down by both Kalani Sitake because BYU found the money, which is entirely
go to the
possible.
Marriotts.
Let me tell you how possible it is. The Crumple Cookie CEO is
that the one on Twitter who was like, "Oh, it's time to get to work" or something? I saw. Okay.
They have more. Dude, they have more money.
No, I know.
They're fine if they want to spend it. But
doesn't Penn State allegedly have Adidas money coming in now that is funding things?
Yeah, because Adidas is the one that basically said you have to get rid of James.
Yeah, that was the rumor, and because they're taking over next year with the equipment deal. So
Sitake though. I could see Sitake staying though because.
So then, who does Penn State get?
If Auburn had not gotten in their own way, could you imagine if Kalen DeBoer, after missing the playoff at Alabama, was like,
I'm
Penn
out.
State, come get me out of here?
I could see that.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And then at the 11th hour, Lane Kiffin doesn't sign the LSU contract.
Here he
goes to
goes.
Bama
But then
instead.
Bama doesn't go get him because they didn't last time.
Oh my God, I think they would though, and I think he would.
Oh,
want
he
it.
would
absolutely
definitely
he
want
would.
it.
He would absolutely. He never wanted to follow the old
Yeah.
man, but he'd have followed the man who followed
Correct.
the old man.
Yeah. He would want that, and then he will go to Miami and beat FSU like nonstop because that's where he's going to
Yeah.
end. He'll go to Miami. Lane at the U just has
Oh.
to happen, right?
John, I'm going to leave you with this because we need to get
Yes.
off the air because we're 25 minutes over. John, Mike Norvell, Penn State.
Please let that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Go to Happy Valley.
Oh.
Go.
All right, college football down here is over. Soccer over there is over. We'll be back for World Cup draw stuff. John will be back with SDH AM tomorrow. What you got in the show tomorrow?
Casey White, KCD, and we're going to talk a lot of college soccer with her, with Division I, with what happened yesterday. And Steve DeCoux, after their win from Georgia Gwinnett's going to join us at 10 o'clock. We'll go through everything and mop up everything around the world. Sheffield Wednesday is also getting yet another points penalty that we have to get into.
It's still from when they were broke.
Yeah,
like, it's
so
stupid that they're still getting these piled up.
Yeah, so there's plenty of news overseas to get into, stuff to get into. We'll catch up with folks after MLS Cup because we've yet to hear from Thomas Mueller and Jesper Sorensen, so we've got a lot of that to mop up. So stuff around the planet, stuff from MLS Cup to put a bow on. Casey White at 9:15, Steve DeCoux at 10 o'clock.
Morning Espresso in the morning newsletter. If you're not on the newsletter list, go to soccerdownhere.net/connect. You can also just shoot us a message. We can add you manually if we need to do that. The podcast will go out as well. SDHAM 9:05 all week long. Then the World Cup draw starting at 9:05 on Friday. Adios, y'all. Have a good night.